All right. We are getting everything up and running here. Give me just a minute before I turn the camera on. Well, I guess I can turn the camera on now. It doesn't matter. You guys know what I look like. Uh, all right. How do we sound? Do I sound okay? I think you guys can probably hear me. If you can't, you can't. Okay. Baseball time, man! It's been baseball time all day. I've been doing nothing but baseball all day. I've been going back and forth with the Twins GM to try to clear some of this payroll off of my offline team, and haven't quite been able to put something together yet. But we are working on it. I just want to make sure everything else is good to go. I think so. I think you can hear me okay, right? I can't hear myself in my headphones for some reason, but you can hear me okay, right? Going up against Out of the Park again here tonight. 536 viewers in that channel. Let's see if we can reach that here tonight. Anyway, it is, where are we? It is June 25th. June 25th, we just finished we just went into the All-Star game, right? Yeah, we just went into the All-Star game. We're 48 and 27. We're in first place by a game or two, I believe. I haven't even looked at the save in like 3 or 4 days, so I don't even remember a lot of what's going on. Yeah, we are 2 games up on the Padres, or 1 game up on the Padres, rather, excuse me. We are... What else? What else do we want to talk about before we get going? I don't know. Let's see. So 2 years ago, we won the World Series 2027. Last year was our third straight 100-win season at 162. It was our first division title. But we got knocked out in the NLDS by the Dodgers. This year's been up and down. I mean, we have a pretty good mark right now, 48 and 27, but we're 16 and 6 in this month. But we had a stretch back in, I think it was May, where we went like 1 and 9 or something. Yeah, right here we lost 7 out of 8 games here in May. But other than that, it's been a pretty good year. I mean, 8 of our 27 losses were in a 9-day span. So other than that, I think things have looked pretty good. Our offense, we're Colorado, so I expect us to be, first or second in pretty much everything. So sitting at fourth in runs scored, a lot of that has to do with the lack of production from Luke Lito and Sam Wesniak here right off the bat. Lito's coming off back-to-back 4-win seasons with the bat. Close to 300 batting average, 420 on base, close to 500 slugging. You can see that's down about 130 points this year. Sam Wesniak, obviously, you guys know what a monster he's been. 103 home runs the last 2 seasons. He's only got 4 doubles and 18 home runs in 72 games this year. His average is down 60 points. On base and slugging way down as well. So, our offense just hasn't been quite as good as it has been in the past. Our pitching staff also hasn't been very good this year, all things considered. Tanner Brubaker he's doing fine. Tanner Brubaker and Sixto Sanchez have both been fine as our 1-2. Absolutely no complaints out of them. Jim Denney, his 3rd season, and he's kind of going the wrong way. His rookie season, he was 15 and 5 with a 2.74 ERA. Last season, an NL leading 18 wins, but his ERA was up about a run and a quarter. His WAR was down by 1. His ERA plus was down a bunch. His BABIP was up. And then this year, Again, ERA plus down, WAR is way down, BABIP is up again, ERA is up. So he's kind of going the wrong direction, and he wants a bunch of money in arbitration next year. Where is he? He is right there. He wants $6 million next year. So Ben Guess is another one who has kind of taken a step backwards this year, and this is really frustrating. Last year, 17 walks, 192 strikeouts, and 175 innings. This year, he's got 16 walks and 77 innings, so I'm not entirely sure what his issue is there. But he's clearly not having the same year he had last year. He's another one who's going to be making a bunch in arbitration next year. I think his ARB number was up over 10. Over 10 or at 10? No, I guess it wasn't. 5.8. I don't know who I was thinking of. Maybe Mason Wynn. I'm not entirely sure. But at any rate, financially, hey, Breeze, what is up? How are you doing tonight? Having a good weekend? I didn't random task. I didn't ask you if you're having a good weekend because I know what you're doing this weekend. So, financially, we're in rough shape. For the first time in our 9 years, even good players have. Yeah, I know. But this year, when I don't know. This year, when financially we're up against it this year, right? Because we have almost a 20% drop in attendance this year. Even though our payroll drops next year, we don't have any money. So it's not like we're going to be able to go out and improve our team, via free agency or something like that, or even by trade, because we don't have any way to take on additional funds. So, and I've talked about half jokingly, benching. Salary arbitration is something you will need to get used to since you're not the best at it. I found that the best way to handle arbitration, and I'm sure Random Task will correct me if he doesn't agree, but I found the best way to handle salary arbitration is that if you have somebody who's asking for, I don't know, we'll look at Mason Wynn. So you can see here his salary arbitration number, and this doesn't work as well during the regular season, but it works when the season's over. So you have someone like Mason Wynn who's asking for $11 million. So he may be asking for $16.50 here, even though his ARB number is 11. I could go in here and I could offer Mason Wynn, if he wants $11 million, I could probably offer him $10,250, and he would probably take it. You can almost always get them to take a little bit less than what their estimated arbitration number is, and that can help save you a little bit of money here and there if you're up against it. If you've got a huge contract, you can save, $800,000, $900,000, something like that, just by offering a little bit less than what their arbitration number is. Usually it's nickels and dimes. If someone wants $3 million, you can usually save, $150,000 or something like that, in arbitration, but not much more than that. So, yeah. Anyway, so where are we? We are on the 25th of June. So it is, we're coming up on international free agents. We're coming up on first-year player draft and the trade deadline. So we're going to jump in and we're going to start. And I didn't make any moves, but I did move some people around in the minor league system. Some of my players who had been performing. Andy Powers, I called him up to high A ball. He was our second-round pick a year ago. Looks to be performing pretty well. Hasn't played much. Really, I don't think has he played at all? Yeah, right here. He's only got 13 at-bats in 2 seasons, but his ratings suggest that he doesn't belong in rookie ball anymore. So we called him up. Ray Arias was a 6th-round pick in 2027. He's been in rookie ball now for 3 years, so it's time to shit or get off the pot. My Arizona League strategy is interesting. What do you mean? How so? You're thinking of letting Renfroe walk to free agency. His average was below. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a really easy way to save some money as well, is just to remove 84 players. Yeah, I don't go through it and get rid of everybody like I should. About once every 2 or 3 years, I'll go into the Arizona League and I'll just waive everybody that is over a certain age, unless they are still technically a prospect of some sort, and they were just overlooked. But in most cases, like Leo Chase, I don't know. I mean, we drafted him in 2027. I mean, I suppose I could hang on to him, but usually I just go through and I get rid of all the one-star guys that are over a certain age, and that helps clear it out a little bit. But you're right. I should probably do this a little more often, and get rid of some of the. My other problem is that I also almost invariably try to re-sign all of my minor league free agents, which leads to this sort of log jam at the lower minor leagues. Like I'll go in, and I'll offer contracts to all of my veteran minor leaguers. It impacts playing time for prospects, so that's something to pay attention to. Yeah, you're right. You are right. Like I said, it's something I focus on every couple of years, but it's probably something I should do at the beginning of the season. I just like to have some 2.5 and 3-star veteran players in my minor league systems that I can use as fill in or filler for deals. But you're right. You are absolutely correct. You only manually demote players with 55 potential to make it easier, even though some promotions are going to be confusing, like a really low overall, like 40. Because I don't do the 20 to 80 scale, it's a little bit different for me. I tend to look at their stats, and I know that's not always the best answer, but I tend to look at their stats when I am looking to promote or demote somebody. Like this guy's hitting 330 right now in high A ball. He's 26. I mean, he clearly doesn't belong there. So I tend to look at their stats, and if they're performing, I'll call them up. I mean, there are times where somebody can perform and they're, like if this guy was hitting 300 in rookie ball, I wouldn't call him up. But generally I look at stats, which probably isn't the smartest way to do it, but that's how I do it anyway. So at any rate, we need to start simming around. You used to resign your minor league free agents, but now your thought process is that if they make the 40-man roster by their 5 minor year league, then they can leave, barring some utility man exceptions. Yeah, I'm not necessarily talking about my free agents. Like a lot of these guys, if they haven't made the 40-man within 5 years of me drafting them, they're probably not going to make it. But at the beginning of spring training, I'll go into free agency and I'll sign, a crap ton of 2.5 and 3-star minor leaguers that are okay signing minor league contracts. And then those players I try to hold on to for at least a year or two, because again, I can use them as, pieces in trades. But my own players, yeah, they're usually 1.5 or 2-star type players that aren't going to go anywhere. But if I have a 3-star player, chances are he's going to be on the 40-man. If they don't make the minors. Even if they don't make the majors? Or by the time their minor league contracts essentially are up. Well, either way, I get what you're saying, I think. But we need to get started here, because I want to see how far we can get before the end of tonight. Anyway, for those of you who haven't been in this chat before, my name is Aaron. I host you just woke up from a nap. Well, you said you had company over this weekend or today or something, right? I host a channel on YouTube called Around the World Sports, and it's mostly video game centric, but there is some other stuff on there as well, like some highlights for some of my play-by-play stuff that I do and that sort of thing. So if you're new and you want to check out some additional baseball stuff, that's where you can do it. You overanalyze your minors. I probably should spend more time on... I keep an eye on the players that I have set to... I don't want the AI to promote or demote, but the other ones, I tend to just let whatever happens, and that sometimes causes me to miss players. So yeah, no, I'm the other way. All right, so it's the All-Star game today. Sim ahead. And let's see what happened. National League won by the final score of 5-2. Let's look at the box score. I don't even remember who we had. Oh, look at that. Angel Hanau, who we had for a while. He's now a 4-star player with St. Louis. Drew Jones made it for us. He went 0 for 2. Wozniak got the start, had 2 hits and a run scored. I think those were my only two offensive players. Did we have any pitchers? Mason Wynn made it. Hawes made it. They both pitched shutout innings. Sixto Sanchez made it. He pitched a shutout inning. So all three of our pitchers pitched, and they pitched scoreless innings. So that's something, I guess. All right, so we've got San Francisco coming up. They're in the cellar, 33-42. Let's see how we do coming out of the All-Star game. 4-3 win right out of the chute. 2 runs in the first. Ramirez. Yeah, and see, this is my issue. I've been half-heartedly talking about benching Jose Ramirez for the second half of the season so that we didn't have to pay him that $40 million vesting option. But, I mean, he's on pace for 5 wins. And I don't know that, how realistic do I want this to be? I mean, I feel like, if I benched Jose Ramirez and this was real life, that the Rockies would revolt. And, I mean, obviously it would never happen. So I may just let it go and just eat it and see what happens. And maybe next year we have to take a step backwards. I mean, that happens. So anyway, Brubaker pitches 6 shutout. Camarada pitches a scoreless inning. Carraway gets the save. And another one. 8-7. Wozniak homers. Drew Jones has 2 more home runs. He has had just a great season. Already a career high for home runs, closing in on a career high in RBIs. It's already a career high in WAR. He's having a great year. Having a very, very good year when we needed it, because we've had players who have taken a significant step backwards. Denney picks up the win. Horn gets lit up. He's been so bad. He's been so bad this year. Carraway gives up a run. Wynn gets the save. I gotta just change him to unspecified, man. He's been so terrible this year. And we've suffered some injuries, which have forced him into the lineup. Losing both Miles and Parker has forced Horn into the lineup. So hopefully we get Miles back in a couple of months and we can move Horn back to AAA. But yeah, he's just been terrible. 8 mil, 5 WAR, about 40. So he's on pace. Yeah, he is, but it's not about the value of the contract at this point. It's about me having absolutely no room to do anything next year because of that contract. I mean, next year I'm going to have $65 million, and this year I'm going to have $65 million tied up in Ramirez and Castro, which means I'm not going to be able to re-sign Sixto Sanchez. And, I mean, it's going to have an effect on the team long term, obviously, but I mean, ultimately, Ramirez is having a great year, so I shouldn't complain. It's it is what it is, and we'll deal, and we'll. No, I've already tried. No one's interested. No one is interested at all. We won 3-1. Yeah, no one is interested in Ramirez even at $20 million, which is weird. Because at $20 million, you would think that there would be some value in Jose Ramirez given the numbers he's put up, but there isn't. So. I'll deal with it, and if we have to take a step backwards next year, yeah, fan interest will get crushed, but we're at like 98 or something like that, so I'm not 99, so I'm not too terribly concerned about fan interest. Even if we lose 10 points because we traded Ramirez, we'll still be okay, but I mean, nobody wants him, so I mean, it's a moot point. Ben Guest pitches well, so we start off the stream 3-0. It is July 1st, so international free agency. We'll take a look at that in a second. Player development. Andy Powers, again, up to a 99 contact. That's nice to see. Wow, did you see a start in single A? 6 for 13 in single A. Kevin Norman, he'll be up. He's on a rehab assignment. He was hurt for, a year? So we'll let him finish out his rehab assignment, and then maybe we call him up and take the spot of the hell's his name? Horn. We'll see. We will see. Arias got worse. Mathiasen, he was a catcher with no catcher rating. That's interesting. Some good development out of our minor leaguers. Greg Melvin, a 20-year-old we drafted last year in the 6th round. Yeah, I mean, I like those batting ratings. I mean, that's sort of a leadoff hitter profile if he reaches that that potential, and he's a right fielder with the range and arm and the range and the error in that arm. So good prospect there. AL Batter of the Month, Brandon Marsh of the Angels. In the National League, Eloy Jimenez of Atlanta. AL Pitcher of the Month, Rodney Boone. In the National League, Inez Padez, 25-year-old rookie. Alex Gallardo wins the Rookie of the Month in the AL, and Padez wins the Rookie of the Month in the NL. Let's take a look at international amateurs. So, it feels like, OSA thinks he's an absolute monster. I will take a run at him. I don't know that he's going to be interested in signing with us. We haven't had a ton of luck with this over the last couple of years. We're getting a lot of, I prefer this team's $5 million offer to your $5 million offer, so we'll kind of see what happens, but I'm not anticipating that we'll actually be able to sign him. All right, it's Pittsburgh. It is. Yeah, it is. The way I'm looking at it, though, is that some of those players will develop. You don't know what the way they used to do international amateurs was, they've kind of gone from one end of the spectrum to the other, in my opinion. In previous versions of the game, the best prospects in your system were almost always the international guys. They would almost always turn into megastars. And they're kind of handling it more like the draft now, right? Where, you occasionally get a can't-miss prospect in the draft, but more often than not, you're going to get, a flawed 18-year-old that could potentially develop into something better than what his ratings say he is right at this moment. So that's kind of my thought process with the international guys. Wonder if there's a and that's that's not a bad idea. Just sign all the really, really cheap guys for $100K, and maybe you get some sort of random talent. Maybe you get that random talent bump out of 4 of them. And 4 of them turn into 3-star players, and now all of a sudden you have 4 3-star players that you sign for $100K each. That would be an interesting test. That may be an interesting test to run. Not for this, obviously, but in a test run. So Wozniak, 2 hits, 3 RBIs, got up to 21 home runs. That average is climbing again up to 268. Drew Romo with a couple of hits. Lido homers. Carter Smith was bad, but our bullpen made up for it. Mackenzie Gore, Haj, Schmidt, Camerata, and Tunnel were pretty good. We have to look at expiring personnel. I'm just going to bring everybody back. Bring the gang back, as they say, or what's the statement? Let's get the gang back together. Yeah, get the gang back together. I think that's probably... You assume it's with the new scouting system. Let's see. Ooh, it looks like we've had some picks made here in the online league. Ty Evans, Chase Petty, Jay Allen. Okay. Well, we are almost into the second round finally. I'll be waiting until tomorrow probably to make that first pick. Top 100 prospects. Yeah, we don't have anybody there. Our prospect rankings, it's gone in the pooper here over the last few years. Where are we? Yeah, we're 22nd right now. We only have Kevin Norman. We had one of the top prospect pools in the majors for year after year after year. We traded Julio Negron, and yeah, he's a number 3 prospect in baseball, but he's going to be a reliever. That changeup just doesn't look like it's going to develop, so I don't feel bad making that deal. Schedule. Let's keep going. You assume it's another win. So it's 5 in a row since we started the stream here. We 5 runs, 7th inning. Ramirez, 2 for 4, 3 runs knocked in. Sal Stewart had a couple RBIs. Jones had a couple RBIs. Sixto Sanchez strikes out 10 in 6 innings. Continues to pitch well, and I would love to re-sign him. Absolutely love to re-sign him, but it ain't going to happen. You can see with our extension money and what he's asking for. So something we'll just have to put on the back burner until the season's over. And we'll take a look and see what happens at that point. Game 3 against Pittsburgh is a 6-1 loss. That's our first loss of the stream here this evening. And we lose again. 11-9, so Norman is still on his rehab assignments. Game 3 at Philadelphia is a... Drew Jones out for 2 to 3 weeks with a concussion. That's no good. So we'll just go to Chris B. He's obviously not going to bat cleanup. I think we may do something like this. Just kind of move everybody down one against righties. And against lefties, I am super left-handed. That's a problem. Pennell can't hit lefties. I guess Cotter can't hit lefties. Now we'll go with B, and we'll just move him down in the lineup. Holcomb's been so bad. So bad. This sucks. This deal here really, really hurt. I mean, not that we gave up a ton of high-level talent in exchange for him, but he was so much better when we traded for him. When you look at his rate, we traded for him around here, and you can see his ratings have just, I mean, everything's taken a dive. It's just been awful. Been awful. Having too many left-handed hitters is only a problem if you face too many. Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. All right, so we scored 4 in the 5th. Ramirez and Lito each homer. Ben Guest picks up another win. We're coming up on the draft here in a few days. We're going to be picking towards the bottom, though, so it's going to be a fairly uneventful draft, I think, but we'll still spend our due time going through it. So we split the series in Philadelphia. We put up 14. Chris B, 4 for 6. Wesniak has that average up over 270 now. Pennell, 3 hits, 4 runs scored. Smith is terrible again, but the bullpen is good again. Yeah, that's a lot of good offense in this one. Lito's got his average at 270. He's at 2 home runs. We're not hitting a ton of home runs this year. And like I knew we were going to be, I don't want to say offensively challenged, but I knew that we would probably need another bat this year. And I don't know where it's going to come from. Although as soon as I say that, we put up 14 runs and then 12 runs. Pennell and Stewart each had 4 RBIs. B is only, 11 for 21 in 4 games this year. I got to figure out a way to keep him up. And I don't want to move Stewart because he's going to be my third baseman when the time finally comes to move on from Ramirez. So we'll have to figure out a way to keep him up and in the lineup. Did Sanchez get hurt? Of course he did. Of course he did. Shoot. That's not good. That's not good at all. We got a no-hitter from Drew Christo of the Phillies. 2 walks, 10 Ks. Oh, we signed Moncada. That was unexpected, but I will take it. So let's get a scouting report on him. That's nice. Let's keep going. Got a couple more games against Milwaukee, and then we've got the draft. 6-5 win. Okay, so yeah, I mean, home run power. He's certainly got the home run power. He's probably a left fielder with those ratings, but we'll see what happens as he's only 16. His nickname is Eager Beaver. That's a thing. All right, so we scored 2 in the bottom of the 9th. B with 3 more hits. He's gotten off to a great start this year for us. Ramirez, 2 hits, 2 RBIs. Sal Stewart, 2 hits and an RBI. Brubaker gave up 5, but the bullpen went, 4 1/3 shutout? I'll take that. I will take that every day of the week and twice on Sunday. And game 3 against Milwaukee is a shutout. 8-0 win. Very nice. Chris B with 3 more hits. He's batting .600 on the year. 12 for 20 with 2 home runs and 7 runs knocked in 4 games for us this year. He's already put up almost a WAR in 4 games. He's getting it done. Getting it done. Pennell homers. Pennell tripled. Bases clearing, or had a 2-run triple. 3 RBIs. He's been productive. The average is a little light, but 15 home runs, 42 RBIs in 60 games. What's that? 180. I mean, it's on pace for a 100 RBI season over 162. So, Denney went 6 shutout. Bullpen pitched well, and Clark Schmidt, who we brought back last episode for not much. Yeah, we traded 25-year-old Jackson Ferris, and he's been almost perfect. 21 1/3 innings, 8 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 27 strikeouts. He's been really, really good in his second stint with us. If you remember correctly, we had him from 2020. He was in the very first deal, I think, that we made as a member of the Colorado Rockies. He was all the way down here in 2021 somewhere. Right here. We traded John Gray, Michael Toglia, and Jared Horn to the Yankees for Michael King, Clark Schmidt, and Glenn Otto. And that was one of the first deals we made as the Colorado Rockies. And Clark Schmidt, now 33 years old, shows you how long we've been playing, having a nice go of it here. All right, so we got the draft. Let me delete these. Mike Soroka. Was he a free agent until this season? Yeah, he certainly was. He's on the DL for another 6 weeks, and Washington signed him to a $19 million, so prorated. They're paying him like, $10 million for half a season? All right, let's get up to the draft, and see what the draft looks like. And Sixto Sanchez is out for 2 to 3 weeks. All right, so I guess it is Kevin Norman time. Yeah, I mean, there are no other options. We are going deep into our system here with the number of pitching injuries we have had. So we'll stick Norman in the rotation. Yeah, we have 3 of our 2 starters and one of our main bullpen pieces on the DL right now for significant time. Although only 2 to 3 weeks for Sanchez is not refreshing, but it's a relief, I guess. All right, first year player draft. We're picking 35th. They think we are going to take Caleb Phillips. He looks all right, I guess. Left fielder, probably. Yeah, but he just looks okay. So hopefully there are other options. But let's get to it. So we could just take the 4.5-star reliever and call it a day. Let's look and see what he actually looks like. Eric Shields, ground ball pitcher, East Carolina. Aren't they like the Pirates or something? Yeah, hard pass on Caleb Phillips. Yeah, that was my take too. Like I said, he looked okay, but not with the first round. I don't like taking relief pitchers in the first round. I mean, he looks okay. Not good enough to take in the first round, but maybe there are no other options. I don't really know. It doesn't appear to be any. Granted, I'm picking 35th, so I need to kind of keep that in mind here too. High greed, low leader, low loyalty. This is a crummy draft. Bert Aguirre could be something. I mean, he could be a good defensive infielder. He's not going to hit a bunch, but he's got good speed. He's a good defender. Yeah, I've taken relievers in the first round too, but, if I was going to take someone like this, he can't be flawed in both movement and potential. If his movement was an 80 or his control was if he was a 57 movement and a 50 control, or a 75 movement and a 38 control, then yeah, I would. That's something I could take a run at. But with a 57 movement and a potential 38 control, I don't know that that's going to be enough. I mean, he is a ground ball pitcher, which means he's not going to give up a ton of home runs. But yeah, I don't know. Because both of not that this movement's low, but I would want this, like I said, I would want this to be higher, or I would want this to be higher. So, I don't know. I mean, right now I'm leaning towards Bert Aguirre just because of the other peripherals. I mean, he's going to be a good defensive infielder. He's got some speed, and he's a bottom of the lineup bat. But I mean, meh. I mean, none of the. I mean, this guy Billy Burrell is actually worse. Jamie Callahan. Do we take a run on a catcher in the first round? Positional rating isn't very good, but his catcher ability is very good. High loyalty, high work ethic, low greed. Maybe Jamie Callahan is the way to go. Salas had a good bat, good contact, good gap, good home run power. Bad eye. I mean, he's going to strike out a ton. He's going to be a, potentially high contact, fairly high power, but low OBP guy. So he might be a 320, 330, 450 kind of guy. The arm is absolutely atrocious. That's why I said it's a bad draft. I mean, but how often do you get an opportunity to pick up a catcher with this kind of bat? The catcher arm is atrocious, but how much is base running really a factor in the majors right now? Can Salas play third? No. Not at all. Not at all. 8'12". He's got a 48 arm, and turn double play is 8. So he's a first baseman, a corner outfielder, or nothing. Right now, I'm going Callahan, Aguirre, then Salas in that order. That's kind of my thought process here. See if there's anything else, if there's anybody that's rated lower than they should be. But that's the order I'm thinking about this at the moment. Ruben Gomez, no. No. Low leader, low adaptability, low work ethic. I think I'm going to take Jamie Callahan. Again, to find a catcher that has decent hitting chops, really good catcher ability. I'm not that concerned about the arm because they aren't going to run that. You just don't run that much these days. Played good competition at Texas A&M. High work ethic means he potentially will hit these numbers. I think I'm going to go Jamie Callahan. That's going to be my pick. Or do I go Aguirre? No, we're going to take Callahan. We're going to take Callahan and see what happens. So, Jamie Callahan, the 35th pick in the draft? Yeah, 35th pick in the draft. Next pick. And Aguirre's still there, so we can get both of the guys. So I think Aguirre will be our second pick. Again, I like the defense. I like the speed. He's flawed with the bat, but again, high loyalty, high adaptability, high intelligence means he could potentially, which means he should grow into that. Arm is supposed to be somewhat important for. I don't understand why though. Like, why? I mean, what does the arm do other than, limit stolen bases? It can't possibly affect, the ability to throw to first on a bunt. I always just thought it was catcher ability was the most important thing. But we're going to go Bert Aguirre in the second round. He's flawed, but everybody in the draft is flawed, so let's get on to the next pick. All players. Do we have any pitchers that are hitters and vice versa? Odalan Curcio or Cercio? Meh. What about the other way around? Do we have any pitchers or any hitters that are actually pitchers? Nope. All right. So, it's it's a second round. So that's right. We had a supplemental pick. So are we really already at a point where we are, kind of digging through to try to find diamonds in the rough? It's the third round. You might want to DH for Aguirre instead of the pitcher. regarding arm, you don't know why you didn't make the game. Well, I understand that, but I mean, it just seems like a I don't know. It seems to like you're making it important just to make it important. You know what I mean? Like, to me, arm should simply affect how good he is at throwing out runners on the base paths. Also, if you know a guy can't throw out players, you might say, yeah, I guess. But, you know, there aren't many teams that put a catcher behind the plate these days simply because of his arm. It's more because of his play calling ability. But Dave Bowles, I mean, he looks like a pretty good bat. He's a terrible fielder, but he looks like a pretty good bat. It's UL Lafayette. Those are the Ragin' Cajuns, if I remember correctly. Yeah, sure. Dave Bowles looks like a pretty good get in at this point with that bat. Let's look at our pitchers. Look at individual pitch potential. I don't understand why they list players like this as starters. Whatever. I didn't make the game. Raging Cajuns. Yeah, that's what I thought. Turn a single into a triple in 2 pitches. Yeah, but I mean, how often does that happen? I mean, really? Like, I get what you're saying, but it just doesn't happen that often. Ben Allen looks okay. High school senior. He's only 18. 3 potentially really good pitches. I mean, again, he's only 18, so who knows what he's ultimately going to end up as. But I like the pitches, and everything else is all right, I suppose. And he's a little over slot, which is fine. We had a ton of below slot players in the first couple of picks. I'm just looking at the other drafts. James Peyton Smith went to the Twins. Supplemental round. That was somebody I was looking at. His changes developed, which is a good sign. Might be hidden. You always filter on starting pitchers and look for high movement. All right, well, let's try that. Pitching potential. Movement. And it looks like Odilon Curcio is the name that keeps popping up for us. Potential 67 movement. I mean, he's got 5 pitches. The rest of these guys are pretty garbage. Who is this? Look at this. Can he hit at all? This guy's interesting. I mean, he can literally play every single position except for catcher. Nate Ostrovsky. I think he's the pick. Fastball slider guy, potential 56 movement. Maybe play him as a two-way player. I mean, and he can play really anywhere. I mean, all of his ratings are pretty solid. I mean, he's not really a middle infielder based on those ratings, but I mean, he can play third, he can play first, he can play second in a pinch. He can play all the outfield positions. I like Nate Ostrovsky. He's only 1 star. That's nuts. No control, though. He can hit well enough. Yeah. All right. What about Curcio? Oh, that's right. He was the one who could hit. Yeah, we'll take him. We'll take him now as well. Again, a little above slot, but that's fine. Let's go to fielding. See if we can find ourselves a catcher. Josh McMillan. He's 22, just awful with the bat, but he's by far the best defensive catcher in the draft. Or that's left, I should say. Kevin Collins at least has a little bit of a bat. I think we'll go Kevin Collins simply because he's got the batting eye. And the ability isn't quite up to par with McMillan, but that's okay. I like making 2 or 3 picks without looking at chat because I know Random Task you'll tell me if I just completely blew it. So I like to make a couple picks without looking and then wait and see what you say afterwards. Josh Baker. All batters. Do it this way. Yuck. There is not a lot left here. I'll take Jeffries just because he can play the outfield. He's got good speed. Maybe he'll get. And he played at LSU, so played at a high level, and he's free. So why not? All players. What do we have left for contact? Ken McGlone and Phil Brushett. Ruben Gomez. Sure. I mean, he's almost developed, but the bat's pretty good. Yeah, no, you're right. It's a terrible draft. It is absolutely a terrible draft, which is why I just sort of go through and say, all right, well, you know, if we can find someone who's good at this, maybe we can use that down the road. I think I'm pretty much done drafting here, though. We'll just go back to pitchers one more time, and I'll look at pitch rating once more. See if I missed anything. Josh Baker looks interesting. Oops, what am I doing? I think I just drafted. Yeah, I get so far into this that I can't even tell if I've already drafted the person or not. I think I did, though, right? Did I just draft him? No. Yeah, I did. Oh, wait. Somebody just drafted him. Did I just draft him? No, Jacksonville did. Okay. I am... It tells you where my mind is at this point in the draft. I think we're done. This is really garbage at this point. Yeah, we're done. All right. Autocomplete draft. And this, I get the suspicion that this is going to be a pretty uneventful, I guess, trade season, simply because we don't have any money. So unless we can find someone who's willing to take like the entirety of the contract, I don't know what we're going to do. Yeah, we only have $2.7 million. That being said, we could use a pitcher. We definitely could use another relief pitcher. Is there anybody on here that looks interesting that we could get the AI to eat the whole thing? Jaciel De La Cruz. I mean, he would be better than a couple of the players we have going out there. Yeah, and they don't want anything. All right, well, that's good. So, who's the worst player on this list? Here, you want a 34-year-old half-star second baseman? I want you to eat the contract, though. I would happily give you... Here, you want 2 bad old minor leaguers? Fine. That works for me. That works for me. Now we can punt Horn to the moon and bring up Jaciel De La Cruz. Stick him in our bullpen. What else do we want to do? Let's... we'll sim at about another week. I don't know, somewhere around here, and then we'll pause and we'll look at stats and stuff and see if there are any last-minute moves we want to make. So coming out of the draft at the Cubs is a 6-1 win. Lito 2 hits, 2 RBIs. Bees averages down to 565 on the year. Ben Guest pitches 7 innings of 1-run baseball. Has that ERA down to almost 4. Game 2 at the Cubs. 5-3 loss. And the third game of the series. 11-0 win. So, good start to the month. We're 9-3 this month after a 19-6 June. 11-0 win. Wesniak 2 for 2, 4 RBIs, 3 runs scored. Sal Stewart drives in 4 runs. Ramirez and Pennell each drive in runs. complete game shutout for Tanner Brubaker. 9-3, 3.78 ERA. That's nice to see. Game 1 against the Diamondbacks. Loss. Game 2. Ooh, another loss. Back to, and now Drew Jones is... that's not good. Still out with a concussion. This was a bad game. So Norman made his first start and got hit pretty hard. I don't know what else to do. Looks like Pinnell hit a couple of solo home runs. Wozniak has that average all the way up to 283. Starting pitchers. What do we have for starting pitchers that we can get? I mean, that's ultimately the problem here, is that we need to be able to afford them. Josh Robertson. Extreme ground ball. He's fragile. He's pitched pretty well for the Yankees this year. I mean, I really want Emerson Hancock, but I don't know that we can get him unless the demands have changed over the last, Yeah, they want Norman, and I don't want to give you Norman. That's not going to happen. Robertson's not really a starter. I mean, would he be worse than Norman? I mean, why isn't he a starter? He's got 2 good pitches, a third passable pitch. He's like an extreme ground ball pitcher. He's got 75 stamina. I mean, he's a starter. He wouldn't be great, but I can't afford great right now. I can afford passable. I don't even know if I can afford passable. And he's one of a few ground ball pitchers that are out there. He's making $9 million. And we're down to 2 stars. Well, I mean, it's 37 out of 100, so it's below average, But again, if he's my 5th starter, I don't know. I think for especially given where my bullpen, where my pitching staff is right now, if I suffer another injury to my pitching staff, I'm in trouble. I picked Wes Tunnel up last episode, who hadn't pitched in the majors in like 4 years, because I needed somebody to put out there. So we are very, very thin in our pitching staff. So I'm just trying to come up with ways to add to my depth without giving up a ton. I mean, that's really my thought process. So I'm going to look and see what it would take to get Roberson. Let's see what they would, you need to eat the contract. Yeah, like, that's ridiculous. Give me a break. Okay. It's just dumb. Would you take Josh Peretti? And I would be okay with this. He's 25 years old. He's got a decent bat, but he's not a very good defensive catcher. Hitting has never really hit, so let's submit the offer and see if they have any interest in that. And we will move forward. Game 3 against Arizona. Can we avoid the sweep? We do. Okay, so we should be able to make this work. So Bryant Quijada is somebody you will take to make this work. So where are we going? He was injured. So Quijada. There he is. Submit. We won 7-6. Again, bullpen gave up 3 runs in the 7th. Oh, no, it looks like Guest gave up all the runs. Camarada and Schmidt pitched 2 1/3 shutout. We get home runs from Wozniak and Romo, and Wozniak has really been on fire this month. 388, 8 home runs in 15 games. So he seems to have finally snapped out of it a little bit, which couldn't have come at a better time. Not having Drew Jones hitting the ball is making things a bit of a challenge for us. Drew Romo's got his average up to almost 250. Sal Stewart with 3 doubles. Keep moving along. An OOTP asking for retention hurts the AI's feelings. All right, so they're going to accept this deal. So we're going to go ahead and complete it. So we trade Josh Peretti, 25-year-old catcher. Where did we draft him? I think he was a 5th-round pick in 2025 and a half-star first baseman for Josh Roberson. So now, wow, Carraway's okay. Well, Carraway can no longer be the stopper. ERA is up. I think we move Carraway. I think we try to move Carraway. We have a lefty in the bullpen in Mackenzie Gore. And it would be nice to, I don't know, let's see if anybody's interested in him. Of course, nobody wants him. Which is fine because he's on team options for the next 2 seasons. So do we send Tunnel down? I think we send Tunnel down. And we put Roberson on the big league roster. And we'll start him as a bullpen arm. We'll give Norman a couple of starts, see how he does. And if he struggles, we will make a move. So let's make him a reliever. His rating's pretty good as a reliever. We're going to move him into the middle relief. And we're going to make Camerata the other setup man along with Carraway. And we'll run like that. Yeah, our bullpen's going to look different next year. We're not going to have Wynn. We're not going to have Carraway. So we'll be leaning on Camerata, Haas. Ooh, and that's it. I mean, we don't have a lot of options in our bullpen right now. All right. And we win 9-8 in 14 innings. They scored, again, look, 7 runs in the 7th and 8th. Was that the bullpen? That was the bullpen. De La Cruz comes in and gets lit up. Tunnel pitches 2 1/3 shutout innings, and we send him down to AAA because that's what we do. But we're 30 games over 500. We are now only 4 games up. Padres been playing well. We've been playing better. We are back to having the best record in baseball, so we're kind of back to where I expected us to be at the start of the season, which is a good thing, of course. Game 2 at Washington, an 8-4 loss, and Game 3. It was 2 out of 3 at Washington. Let's see what happens with Cincinnati. 7-2 victory there. Lito with a couple of hits. Ramirez hits his 20th home run of the year. Cotter homers. Holcomb's average is down under. I can't play him anymore. I have to find a different option as shortstop. There we go. Norman picks up the win. Good start for him there. All right, so what do we do? I mean, is it as simple as just making Castro the starting shortstop? Castro's at 252. I mean, his ERA plus is 76, but that's better than Kiner Falefa. So I think we do this. Kiner Falefa becomes our backup, second and short. How's Stewart doing at second base? My guess is terribly. I mean, his zone rating's bad. Has not been good at second base, but I needed the offense. Does anybody want Holcomb? Just out of curiosity. At this point, that is a trade that I would say both. I wouldn't say both teams lost. We lost. Well, there you go. I mean, is he really going to be any worse a hitter than Holcomb? I don't think so. And he's going to hit like $150 because of that contact. But I mean, last year in 140 games, he put up 2 WAR. I don't know. I mean, if he can run into some pitches, he would be. He would be. I mean, defensively, he's actually an upgrade from Holcomb, which is crazy. And I think I might pull the trigger on that deal unless there's something else here. Nick Allen, he can't hit either. Fly ball pitcher, I'm not interested in. extreme fly ball pitcher. So let's do this. It says this trade is not in our best interest. I don't understand why. I don't understand why. He just can't hit. Can we get a minor league bullpen arm, some depth? Like even someone like Mike Rue would be nice to have as depth in our minor league system. Wow, okay. So this is right on the edge for them. Right on the edge. David Barnes. I like David Barnes. Still weighing the pros and cons. Yeah. Abdoulaye Lacare. He's Canadian. Okay. Can play all three infield positions really, really well. Can play left and center, which is something we need. What are his ratings in the outfield? Yeah, I mean, he's an elite defender all over the diamond. To me, that's got more value than what we're getting out of Holcomb. So I'm going to pull the trigger here. And fans don't like that, but Braden Holcomb has been terrible. So that's fine. And that gives me an opportunity to have a much better defensive player in the outfield. Actually, let's do it like this. Let's do it like this. Make him our backup center fielder. He could play third base too, right? Yeah, he can. So, yeah, this guy's really, really good defensively. We'll run into some home runs. But, again, I mean, if he puts up a line like this for us, I would be thrilled. Just, I mean, 211, 266, 350. I mean, that's terrible. But better than what we're getting out of Holcomb this year. So, let's keep going. 11-1 victory this time. Wozniak, 2 home runs, 5 runs knocked in. B with 3 hits. Guess has 2 hits. Guess is a really good hitter for a pitcher. And look at Lacare. He gets the start, goes 2 for 5 in his first start. Wozniak homers twice. 2 hits, 1 run for Guess. So we're back to 30 games over 500, which is good. Let's keep simming along. 3-2 loss. So we can't sweep. And let's pause real quick. And let's take a look at kind of where we are. So we're 2 games up. I think we're... Yeah, San Diego's 6 games up on the Mets. We're 2 games up on the Nationals. So we're, 10 games up in the wild card if it comes down to that. Wozniak actually leads the National League in home runs. After that slow start, he's up to 32. Third in the league in RBIs. Brubaker, second in the league in wins. Third in WAR. From a WAR perspective, Brubaker, Denney. Again, that ERA sitting at about 4.5. FIP is slightly below 4. He's kind of bounced back here a little bit as of late. Up to 2.5 or 2.1 WAR, 3.5 potential or 3.5 projected WAR on the season. Haas and Wynn have both been pretty solid out of the bullpen. Guess has bounced back. Looks like he's had a very, very good July. Yeah, 3-0 the last 2 months. 6-0 over his last 2 months with a sub-3 ERA. So I'll take that. Carter Smith has been bad, but I don't know what to do. I mean, between Norman and Smith, 40% of my rotation is significantly below average. So just have to hope that they're able to sort it out. Yeah, Carter Smith has just been... I mean, he's had a couple of... I mean, I guess he's had a few good starts as a starter, but where is he? Yeah, I mean, he's been better as a starter than he was as a reliever, but he hasn't exactly been good. 1-1 with an ERA of 5. ERA north of 7 as a reliever, though. Offensively, I think the ship has sailed on the benching Jose Ramirez thing. I can't bring myself to do it. It's not a realistic outcome. So we'll suck it up and we'll deal with the contract next year, and we'll just deal with it. Sam Wozniak with a bizarre season, 32 home runs and 4 doubles. His OPS is approaching 1,000, which is good. He's back up to 4 WAR. Still, I mean, he's on pace for more home runs this year and more RBIs than he had last year. The average is down, on base is down, slugging is down. So, and that, again, with the start he had, that's not a surprise. I mean, 244, 263 his first 2 months, but thankfully he's rebounded nicely here in June and July. Willy Castro, even with a significantly below average bat, 703 OPS, 77 OPS plus, still putting up 2.1 WAR. So he's, defensively, he's so good defensively. He is worth that $25 million that we're paying him, believe it or not. Pinnell up to 20 home runs in 71 games. I like that 560 slugging. And he's playing, well, I guess he's below average in the outfield, which is weird. When you look at his ratings, you would suspect that he would be an above-average outfielder. At any rate. Anything else interesting here? Kiner Falefa, his time with the team may finally be coming to an end. He's finally below average with the bat. Carter Young has come on a little bit stronger as of late. He had a rough start to the season. Chris Bell is, Chris B still sitting at 0.9 WAR. He was at 0.9 WAR after 4 games. He's at 0.9 WAR after 16 games now. So let's take a look at the trade block again and see if there's anything else we can do to improve the team. 120 games, random tasks. So there's no way that we're not going to that he's going to miss it. I mean, he's at 95 right now. So, and he doesn't get hurt. I mean, he just doesn't get hurt. So 25, he would have to play 25 of the next 125 of the next 90-ish games. So, he's going to reach the vesting option. Trade Carter Smith. If anybody would want him, I would do it, but I don't know who I would put in that. I mean, I guess we could stick Mackenzie Gore in that starter's role until we get some people back from injury. And nobody wants him. Grant Newton. I mean, he's actually had a better year than Carter Smith, but his stats aren't nearly as good, or his ratings aren't as good, rather. Being in Colorado, I look at someone like this who's a fastball, sinker, slider pitcher, has good movement, good control. He's a ground ball pitcher, throws sidearm, 95 to 97. It just, to me, feels like his numbers should be better than this. It feels like he's given up too many home runs. Feels like he's walking too many. I don't know. Maybe he's just one of those players who won't ever perform based on how his ratings say he should perform. I don't know. But it's Grant Newton. I mean, he's overperforming a little bit, but I don't know that I would want to trade Smith for him. Although he does have better control. I don't know. I mean, the movement isn't as good. So he's going to give up more home runs. But he's not walking. He's walking about half of what Carter Smith is walking. He's making the minimum. Carter Smith, I think, is eligible for arbitration. Potentially. Smith splits. I mean, he's getting smoked against righties. 26 hits, 23 runs. I mean, he's been okay against lefties. Not great, but he's been okay. Only 3 home runs in 38 innings. But against righties, he's getting hit really hard. He's walking more against lefties, but he's getting hit harder against righties. And he's been bad really every month except for June. July has been terrible. April and May was just unbelievably bad. He's bad at home. He's okay on the road. And there's just nothing here that tells me that he is that he's something we need to hold on to help get us over the top. I don't know. Maybe I make the trade for Newton. Change of scenery type deal. I don't know. Let's see what we got here. Oh, Adonis Medina is out for 2 to 3 months. Fletcher, no. I don't know. I mean, he's a sidearm guy. Their splits. Yeah, but usually as a righty, you would think his splits would be really bad against lefties, not against righties, right? I mean, unless I'm completely thinking about this the wrong way. Sidearm guys usually perform worse against their opposite side because they can see the ball better. Oops, that's not where I wanted to go. 4-pitch arsenal plus changeup plus curveball. Fringy stuff, but makes up for it with pinpoint control. Dice roll starter. Not that this really is cream of his arsenal is a plus fastball. Second pitch is a nice slider. Plus sinker. Plenty of movement. Above average. I mean, the scouting report tells me that they like Carter Smith better, but from a performance perspective, Newton has been the better pitcher this year. I wouldn't mind this guy if he wasn't a tool bag. I mean, I throw people in there. Yeah, they're not gonna. Having the trade difficulty set on very hard sometimes makes it very hard, believe it or not, to come up with a deal that you're happy with. Sometimes you make a deal just to make the deal. I don't want to give you Quintanilla for him. Oh, there are all the notifications from the download. I should probably put my phone aside. I just got like 40 notifications on my phone for the upload is done. I mean, would you take him? I don't know. I think I'm going to pull the trigger just because Smith has been so bad, and he's been bad for a couple of years now. I mean, he's had plenty of opportunities to perform, and he just hasn't done it. And if you look at Grant Newton, he hasn't been much better, but his opportunities have. I mean, he's been better in the 2 years that he's been in the majors than Smith has in any of the time he spent in the big leagues. And granted, it's pitching in Atlanta and pitching in Tampa versus pitching in Colorado. I would expect a sidearm pitcher to throw better against your same side right. So would I. But in this case, that's not what's happening. And it's not particularly close. His ERA is almost 3.5 runs higher against righties, which is weird. 26 hits, 5 home runs in 26 innings. I mean, he hasn't been particularly good against lefties either, but he's been at least passable against lefties. So I'm going to make this deal. I'm going to bring in Grant Newton. He's a little bit older. Stuff isn't as good. Movement isn't as good, but I'm hoping maybe because the control is better, that can lead to some longer outings. He's got decent stamina, so I mean, he could be a decent starter for us. And I guess I would have assumed, and that was the other reason I wanted to hold on to Carter Smith, was because he's a ground ball pitcher. Just figured ground ball pitcher in cores is the way to go, but in this particular case, it doesn't seem to be the reality. So, Grant Newton for Carter Smith. And this hurts because Carter Smith was one of our draft picks. We drafted him in the 7th round. He developed nicely, but just hasn't performed. So, pull the trigger. Fans don't like it, but they like Grant Newton. They like Grant Newton a lot, actually. Okay. So we're going to do that, and we're going to put Newton right in the rotation. Our rotation is not very good this year with the injuries that we're suffering, but I think that's all we're going to do in terms of deals here for the trade deadline. So we're going to, because we can't afford anything else, but that should have bumped our fan interest at a 98. And the revenue per game is at least, it's still negative, but it's climbing. We were at negative 17 or something when we started. We're at negative 11 right now. So hopefully we can continue to draw fans in here towards the end of the game, or towards the end of the, I got a ton of notifications, man. Anyway, towards the end of the season. So let's see what happens. 3 games here against the Dodgers. 6-3 win. Sanchez suffers a setback, because of course he does, but at least it's only 5 days. Lito with a couple of hits, Ramirez with a couple of hits, Pennell with 4 runs knocked in. Brubaker wins his 10th. There we go. Roberson and De La Cruz each come in and pitch shutout baseball for us. Game 2 against the Dodgers, and I think the Dodgers are really bad this. There we go. We lose 13-12 in 19 innings. Holy crap! Look at this game. Chris B goes 6 for 9. Mookie Betts goes 4 for 10. Who ended up getting the loss? Newton came in and had to come in on his off day, I guess. Pitches 2/3 of an inning. That's nuts. 19 inning game. Wow. All right. Well, now we're without Jose Ramirez for 3 weeks. So maybe we can get away with this. Maybe he sits out for 3 weeks, and I should mute the channels. Yeah, I had them muted when I first started because I was getting a notification every hour or so. It wasn't a big deal, but this was the first time I got and they all loaded at once for all of the downloads. He's only out for 3 weeks. I don't want to put him on the 60-day. I'm going to put him on the 10-day. We'll let him take his 3 weeks. Then we'll send him to the minors for a rehab assignment, and we'll see where we stand at that point. I can get away with it now. So that's what we'll do. We're gonna call up Ike Acker, and it's time to reset our lineups here a little bit. So Sal Stewart is going to become our new third baseman. Kind of or do we start Lacare? It's probably Lacar, right? He's from Ontario. We're going to start Lacar. Or do we start Carter Young? He's good against lefties, so I think we're going to start Carter Young at second base. Yeah, start Carter Young at second base. Move Pennell up there. Stewart up there. Move Young down. Lacare, or Lacare? I don't know. 60-day IL, save the money. Yeah, it's not the money this year. It's the money next year. I mean, I guess I could put him on the 60. If we put him on the 60-day, does that immediately give us budget space? Could we then, potentially take on a $25 million contract this year? Is that what you're saying? Is that how it works? I don't want to put him on the 60-day and then not be able to spend the money and fill that spot. Oh, Ike Acker can hit. But where do I put him? He's a right fielder. What do I do with Lito? Stick him in left? No, because I got Pennell in left. Oh, Ike Acker can hit, man. I don't think it is. Yeah, I want to make it realistic, or as realistic as I can, and to me, while it would be an out that I can use, I'm going to put him on the 15-day, then we'll give him his rehab assignment, which is another 30 days, and we'll see where he stands at that point, because that's 15, that's 3 weeks. It's going to be he's going to be out for a month and a half at this point if we factor in the rehab assignment, and maybe at that point I can keep his game time down enough to keep him under 120. We'll see what happens. All right, so against lefties, what do we do? So he's going to come in and play. Stewart's going to play third. So we need a left fielder. Again, we are heavy left-handed. Heavy against left-handers, but Ike Acker, I think, is the best bat we have against lefties. Of the lefties. Willy Castro can't really hit lefties. Yeah, so I think Ike Acker is the starter in left, and we need to change this lineup around a little bit. Wow, all of a sudden are not a deep offensive team. I think we bat Chris B second, Wozniak. Yeah, all of a sudden we are not a very deep team offensively, which is concerning. But all right, we'll just run like that and see what happens. All right, and we are what? We're a game up, 2 games up, something like that. A game up. So we're a game up on the Padres. I mean, we are at this point safely in a playoff position. So we can kind of see how things go with Ramirez. But if we're close to not being in the wild card, I'm just going to put him back out there. It's game 3 against the Dodgers. Oops. Sim now. It's a 5-2 loss. 3 in Miami. That's 3 losses in a row. Not good. And this game, I think, really did a number on our pitching staff. 4 losses in a row, and we are now in 2nd place. Finally, we get Sixto Sanchez back. All right, so who's going to go to the minors for Sanchez? Norman. Let's get Sanchez back out there. We get Miles back in a month, which is good. Make McKenzie go a reliever just to get him off the list. Yeah, so yeah, it threw our pitching staff all out of whack because Newton was supposed to start, and then it ended up skipping him. Nell homers. LeCaire with his first home run. Already paying dividends. Already playing better than our previous shortstop. Yeah, he's 3 for 9. Wozniak's got 35 home runs. All right, let's get up to the 31st. We'll take one more quick look at the trade block and see. Drew Jones is back too. That's huge. All right, so Ike Acker will go down. Get Jones back. Let's get him back in the lineup immediately. And we'll do something like this. So we'll go Lito, Wozniak, Pennell, and Jones against righties. I mean, B has been hitting. I mean, it's hard to take Chris B out of the lineup with how well he's been hitting, but he's not a better hitter than Pennell. At least he's not giving us what Pennell is, which is the power. 24 home runs in 77 games out of Jim Pennell. So, he's the one who has to go down, unfortunately. Jones will come in here as our new center fielder. Move him up. Chris B will play left field, and we're going to move Stewart there, move B down, and we'll run like that. I don't want Cotter starting every 3rd game for Drew Jones. Romo with a couple RBIs. Willy Castro 3 for 3. And you were right, Random Task. Yeah, B's OPS it's better, but I don't know that he's don't forget, he put up .9. His OPS is his OPS actually better? Slightly, by 13 points. But remember that Chris B had put up .9 WAR in his first 4 games, and in his last 19 games, he's negative .1. So, over the last 2.5 weeks, Pennell has been the better hitter. All right, so it's the 31st. Let's look one more time. Trade proposal from the Reds. They want to send us Brian Abreu. No, that's trash. Let's one more time look at the trade block. Not that we have any money, but, maybe we can make something happen. I'd love to bring in Brian Hayes. Just stick him at third base for the rest of the year. And then, yes, I was able to thank you. You made the right decision. You made the right call with Willy Castro. Obviously, his first year was huge with us, 8 WAR. Last year, he was good for 1.6 WAR before he went down, and he's at 2.4 right now. So, that $25 million is a crap ton of money, but look at him defensively. I mean, he's so good defensively that he literally is 19% below league average with the bat, and he's still on pace for a 4-win season. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of money to look at, but ultimately the performance is what's important, and he's performing. So you made the right call pushing me to go after my guy, I think is the way you put it. So I went after my guy. I mean, let's just look. Again, they would have to eat all of the contract, and I don't know if they can do that. I don't even think they can do that. Yeah. Just taking one more quick look, see if there's anything here that Lindor's making like $45 million for San Francisco, so that's not going to work. Ryan Mountcastle, I mean, he's a pretty good bat. He's hitting 348 for the Yankees this year. What would you want for a Ryan Mountcastle? Oh, he's getting paid next year, too. I don't want to pay him for next season, so forget that. Let's just take a look at pitching, and then we'll just keep simming. We'll see if we can get to the end of the regular season here, and just kind of go from there. Fernando Romero, he would be a nice option, but he's out for 9 months. Walker Buehler, I'm not trading with the Dodgers. Yeah. All right, well, it looks like we're good where we are, so let's keep... And he shouldn't be that bad offensively, so when he does hit more in line, that's... Yeah, I mean, his ratings have... I mean, if you remember correctly, when we signed him, his contract was like an 80... His contact was like an 87. So, I mean, it has gone south in a hurry. I mean, you can see here, he was up here when we signed him, and it's, you know... I mean, it's leveled off over the last, I don't know, year or so, 6 months. But, it took a pretty heavy dive after we signed him, which was a little frustrating, but... All right, I'm going to move my phone because the beeping is making me nuts. So, all right, let's finish the month here against Oklahoma City. We win again, 5-4. So let's look at that box score real quick. 3 in the bottom of the ninth. Wesniak homers, Perez homers, Drew Jones homers. Sanchez pitches 6 innings in his first game back. De La Cruz gets hit pretty hard. That's fine. Roberson's been okay since we picked him up. He's walking too many, but 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. Let's take a look at development. Sanchez got worse. Not a surprise, but he's still pitching well. Sademon Parker got worse. I'm afraid that this injury is going to kill whatever development was left in him, but we'll just have to see, I guess. Penn Guest got a little better. Any of our prospects. Sal Stewart got better, which is good. Chris B got better. Ike Acker got better, and he can really, really hit against righties. I just don't have a spot for him at the moment. And the problem is, even though he can hit, the AI doesn't really value him at all. It's pretty crazy. His hitting ratings have dropped for sure, but he should be hitting closer to an OPS of 95 plus versus the 8. Yeah, I mean, if he could put up a league average bat, he would be well worth the money we're paying. Even still, he's well worth it. But no, you're right. Hopefully it's just a down season. Gabe Satterfield continues to get better. He's not pitching particularly well in high A ball, but the control has improved. The stuff is still there, and he's still only 21. So this is one of those picks where, I went after somebody who had a bunch of different pitches, and it's paying off for us. So, AL Batter of the Month in July, Steve Tedding, 22-year-old Steve Tedding. Wesniak wins the Batter of the Month in the National League. AL Pitcher of the Month, Chris Rodriguez in the National League. Kumar Rocker, a now 29-year-old Kumar Rocker for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Tedding is your Rookie of the Month, and Jim Pennell is your Rookie of the Month in the National League. So we are back in first place, 2 games up on the Padres, 68-39. Wesniak leads the league in home runs and RBIs. He's 3rd in OPS. Brubaker leads the league in wins. So we are back where we belong, top of the Major League Baseball standings. We'll sim through August here. Another win, 5-2. Sal Stewart with a big game. 3 for 4, 3 RBIs. Sal does not look like he wants to give up that third base job once once Mr. Ramirez is back, but we'll see how that goes. Lido homers, Stewart homers twice. Newton pitches well, 6 2/3 innings, doesn't walk anybody. Strikes out 8. Schmidt comes in, strikes out all 4 batters he faced. Wynn gets the save. 3 games at Random Tasks' beloved New York Mets. The Mets with a 3-1 win in the first game of the series. Then we win 12-3 in game 2. Castro with 4 RBIs. Young 3 hits, 3 RBIs. Wozniak up to almost 290 now. It's a weird line for Drew Jones. 4 at-bats, no hits, 2 runs scored. Lido hits his 17th home run of the year. Brubaker picks up his 11th win. I'm keeping an eye here, so this number's continuing to climb. If we can get this somewhere back to 0 by the end of the season, that's going to be a huge boost for us. And then the third game against the Mets. Another win, 3-2-10. Pinch hit home run for B. It is a pinch hit 2-run home run for B. Young homers in the top of the 10th. Denney pitches well. Camerata blows the save but picks up the win. He has been a win hawk. Had 10 wins this year last year as a reliever, 7 this year. He's been really good. He's going to want a lot of money in arbitration, but he's probably worth it. All right, so we get a day off followed by 3 games at St. Louis. 7-1 victory. Luke Lido 4 for 5, 3 runs scored, 3 runs knocked in. Sal Stewart knocked in 3. Lido 2 doubles and 2 home runs. So safe to say he's bounced back as well. Is on pace for another 4-win season. Everything is kind of right in line with where it had been. So he's back to where we expected him to be. Sanchez, 1 hit in 7 1/3 innings, 11 strikeouts. Man, I would love to bring him back. And the contract is getting shorter. He wanted 8 years. Now he only wants 5. I could sign him at 5 for 20, and he would take that. But I can't pay him right now. So we'll just have to see what happens in the offseason. Game 2 against St. Louis. 9-2 win. 5 hits for Drew Jones, 3 hits for Pennell, 2 hits, 3 RBIs for Wozniak. The offense is starting to click here, which means that Jose may not have his job when he comes back. He's out for 1 more week. Look at this, guys. The number's coming down. He's on pace for 139 games now. We could be off the hook for $40 million next year. That would be nice. Newton pitches really, really well. Again, that's 2 really good starts that he's made for us. 3 earned runs in 14 innings so far, so that'll work. That'll play. Game 3 against the Cardinals. It's another win. Pitching continues to go pitch well. Only 2 runs in each of the last 3 games. Wozniak, 3 RBIs, up to 41 home runs now. Sal Stewart homers. I mean, he's coming on real strong, Sal Stewart is. Career high in home runs, RBIs. Defensively, he's been, where is third base? He's been okay. He's been average at third base, which is probably far better than we can say for Ramirez. LeCare's average has dropped to 185, but that's fine. Guest pitches well. His 9th win of the year. That ERA now down under 4. We'll get to here, and we'll pause and take a look at stats and whatnot again, but let's continue on. 3 games at Atlanta. First game is a 4-2 loss. Second game, 4-2 win, and Ramirez is recovery unclear. So you know what this is? This is karma. For not wanting to cheat the system is going to give us what it was we wanted. So Jose Ramirez, recovery is now unclear. So he's going to be out for a while. So yeah, we made the honest decision, and the game is rewarding us. So that works. Denney pitches 5. Roberson gets the win. Camerata and Wentz. The bullpen pitched well here. 4 shutout innings. Game 3 at Atlanta is an 8-0 shutout. 4 hits for Pennell. 3 RBIs for Wozniak. Castro still sitting at about a 78 OPS plus, but still 2.6 WAR. Sanchez 5 shutouts, so 4 pitchers combine on the shutout. Even more notable, his ratings are probably going to collapse once he... You're probably right. So the fact that we have Sal Stewart hitting so well for us has been huge. So big series here now against San Diego. We are 2 games up on the Padres. So we could be as many as 5 games up, or we could be a game out of first by the time this series is over. Let's see what happens in game 1. 7-5 loss. So it's a 1-game lead now. Mason went out for 2 to 3 months. That's not good, but we will manage. We'll call West Tunnel back up. I'm going to make Camerata our closer. We will make Hawes our setup. At least we won. We won 7-4, so we're back to 2 games up. Pennell with a 3-run homer. Drew Jones with a couple of doubles. De La Cruz hasn't been good, so we got to get him out of here, used less often. We're going to use Schmidt more often. Yeah, De La Cruz has been really bad since coming over. 14 runs in 13 innings. It happens. But we are 2 games up. So if we win today, we come out of the series with a 3-game lead. If we lose, we're up by 1. Let's see. All right, so we are 3 games up now in the National League West on August 15th. Three more hits for Sal Stewart. Chris B with a couple of hits. Romo hits his 10th home run, average down to 227. Thankfully, his glove is still elite because the bat is starting to struggle. He's only signed for 3 more years. I mean, that contract to me is still a good value given what he's giving us defensively. Brubaker picks up his 12th win. Now we got San Francisco for 3 games out in the Bay. 7-0 win, so that's, 5 out of 6 now? Jones and Stewart each with 3 hits. Wesniak, is that another home run for Wesniak? It's not, but he drives in 2. Denney went the distance. Jim Denney with the 4-hit shutout. Walks nobody, strikes out 9. That ERA is down under 4, so that's a good start. We've got a couple of complete game shutouts this year. Brubaker had one a few weeks back. Game 2 against San Francisco. 5-3 win. So Sanchez picks up the win again. Bottom of the order this time. Castro 2 hits. Romo had another home run. Sanchez goes 7 1/3. He's 11-2 with a sub-3 ERA. Caraway strikes out both batters he faces. Camerata pitches a perfect 9th for his 2nd save. Game 3. Can we sweep the Giants? Clark Schmidt out for 1 to 2 weeks, and Roberson's hurt. Come on. I have to put him, especially with Roberson being, I have to. All right. Well, I guess Chad Horn is coming back up. I mean, he's been unhittable in AAA. I mean, look at his Albuquerque numbers. 3-2 with a 1.33 ERA. He's just pitching terribly with us. I don't know what to do. I guess we make him a middle reliever, him a long reliever. And hopefully the injury to Roberson isn't serious. We'll see. First game against Pittsburgh. Two weeks. All right. Well, that's another pitcher on the DL. So that's 5 pitchers from our opening day roster, or from our big league roster, on the injured list right now. Do we go Applegate? No, he's just not good. I mean, he's pitched well in Albuquerque. I think we just go back to Norman. Make him a middle reliever for now, I guess. All right, so we've lost a couple. I mean, we're 4 games up. San Diego's actually had a longer losing streak than we have, so that's been good. Let's keep going. Another loss. It's 3 in a row. Let's not get swept by Pittsburgh. Okay, thank you. 4-0 win. Willy Castro helped his team beat the Pittsburgh Pirates. Finished second in the AL in triples with 9. Went 4 for 4. 3 RBIs. That's a good game offensively. Denney pitches well again. That's 16 consecutive shutout innings, at least. I don't know how he did in this game, but that's 16 shutout innings for Jim Denney. Sanchez wants to come back. I know you want to come back. I can't bring you back right now. See what happens. We have 3 games against Philadelphia. So we're 1-4 in our last 5. Spencer Miles is eligible to come off the disabled list. That's huge. Horn, because he sucks. I want nothing to do with him. Miles. We're going to get Miles right back in there as a middle reliever. Move Mackenzie Gore back to long relief. We just need to sort of hold on until some of these players come back from injury. Lito hits his 20th home run of the year. Chris B's up to 350. Yeah, we have to find a way to keep him up and keep him playing and keep him hitting and keep him playing. We have a ton of outfielders that can hit. Newton went 5. Carraway blew the save. Camarada gets the win. Game 3 against Philadelphia at home. Ramirez is able to come off the disabled list. We are going to send him on a rehab assignment. So he'll be there for 20 days. Does it list his... I'm curious where his... what his projected is going to look like at this point. So a 5-4 win here. Young had a couple hits, couple RBIs. Ben Guest gets his 10th win of the year. Camarada with his 3rd save. So 3 games at Milwaukee, followed by 3 at home against Chicago before we get to roster expansion. Game 1 at Milwaukee is a 7-5 loss. Roberson recovery unclear. Yeah, last week or so hasn't been great. But we're 5 games up because the Padres have really struggled. Yeah, I mean, we've been good. I mean, I'm not, we're 83 and 47, so I'm not going to sit here and say we haven't, but it's really been carried by June. We were 19 and 6 in June. Otherwise, we've been a very good team, but not the elite team that our record would indicate. So, game 2 against Milwaukee. Is an 11-6 win. Wozniak up over 100 RBIs before the end of August. 46 home runs. 3 RBIs for Pennell. 2 RBIs for Young. Jones hits his 25th home run of the year. That average still over 300. I expected the power to come along, but I did not expect him to hit over 300. So I'll take it. Denney picks up his 10th win. Yeah, my concern is just our bullpen. If we can get Schmidt back in 6 days, which is good. We'll get I don't know when we're going to get Robertson back, but we get Schmidt back in 6 days, which is good. The other 2 are out for the year, but if we can solidify, because we'll just, when we get to the postseason, it'll be Brubaker, Sanchez, Denney, and Guest, and then Newton will move into the bullpen. So it'll be a little bit deeper at that point. But yeah, we don't have a lot of really talented arms in our bullpen this year. It hasn't been a great bullpen. Game 3 at Milwaukee. 3-1 win. Solid start there for who? Oh. Okay, so he's fragile now. So that's going to create an issue when we get to this. Because I'm not paying a 31-year-old fragile pitcher $20 million a year, no matter how good he is. I pitched 4 shutout innings, but the rest of the bullpen, minus Lito, did fine. Carraway with his 20th hold, Camarada his 4th save. Game 1 at home against the Cubs. 3-2 loss. Game 2. 3-1 victory. We traded. That's right. We got Holcomb from the Cubs, and we traded him back to the Cubs, and he's still not hitting. He's batting leadoff for them. He's 9 for 48, 188, 235, 271 is their leadoff hitter. How is LeClaire doing? He's hitting 132, but at least he's got a 234 on base percentage and a 250 slugging, with his 23 OPS plus. Anyway, that's bad for bad right there. Jones hits his 26th home run. Pennell with a couple runs knocked in. And the last game of the month for us. Sal Stewart, day-to-day for 2 weeks. We win again, though, 10-3. Look at that. Abdoulaye LeClaire went 4 for 4 with a home run and 3 singles, which is better than any game that Holcomb has had for us this year. Lito 4 RBIs out of the leadoff spot. Pennell 2 hits, 4 runs knocked in. His 27th home run of the year. Brubaker picked up his 13th win. So let's finish the month, and then we'll look at the stats, and then we will sim September. And maybe we'll have time to get a playoff game in tonight. We'll see. I don't know. It is 8:43, so we're going to be going for another hour or so. I appreciate everybody who's here, who may or may not be chatting, the lurkers. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out here tonight. My name is Aaron. I host Around the World Sports on YouTube, which is this channel right here that I just put in chat. I would assume that most of you that are watching this have probably seen that stuff before, but if not, something to look at. Andy Powers is out for the year, but he hit .320 in his time in A-ball, so he'll be in AA next season. Norman got a little worse, but he's pitching pretty well right now in the majors, so we'll probably just leave him up. Ruben Gomez was our 8th round pick. He's hitting really well in rookie. I mean, as a 22-year-old, he should be. Let's actually go in and let's take a look at where are our... Oh, stupid me. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Random task, why didn't you remind me? I'm putting that blame solely on you, man. That's your fault. You should have reminded me. I didn't offer contracts to any of my draftees. That would have been really bad. I think I only have a couple of days left, don't I? I have until the 9th. Yeah, so it's your fault. It's your fault. Hopefully these guys all sign in the next 9 days. Anyway, roster expansion. Ramirez is out for 13 more days, so he's going to stay right where he is. And it looks like it's letting us call up 38. We can call up to 38 players now, so we're just going to go nuts here and call up a bunch of players to give us some additional depth. Anybody else I want to call up? Nope. No, man, I completely forgot. So, good, Castro's hurt again. What is going on with my injuries this year? All right. Colton Welker, the former Colorado Rocky, wins the AL Batter of the Month. Wesniak wins it again in the National League. AL Pitcher of the Month, Lucas Giolito. In the National League, Carson Montgomery. Dave Moog is your Batter of the Month, or the Rookie of the Month in the AL, and Kevin Lee is your Rookie of the Month in the National League for the Argonauts of Oklahoma City. So hopefully these guys, check out next year's draft. If it looks good, just save your picks. Draft pool 2030. It looks terrible. Pitching potential. That looks terrible. That's awful. I'm going to stick with what we have because that's really bad. That's worse than this year. Hopefully we get some additional players in there, but this is awful. That's awful. That is awful. Yeah, I was right. So we got 3 games against Arizona. Let's get September off to a good start here. Actually, I got to go in and We lose 5-0, so that's not the start I wanted. And Castro's out for 5 to 6 weeks, because of course he is. All right. That means Kiner Falefa is going to go in at shortstop. Just bat last. Against lefties. Castro wasn't even playing against lefties. Okay, that's fine. Let's pause. Where are we in the standings? We have, what, a 4-game lead? An 8-game lead. Holy crap. Okay. An 8-game lead over the Padres. So we can let Jose Ramirez work through his injury status here over the last month of the year, I think. Offensively, we are where I would have anticipated us to be at the beginning of the year. We are first in runs scored. First in really everything except for batting average. We're 5th in starters ERA. Our bullpen has not been very good. Defensively, this is a season similar to those first couple of years that we had where our offense was great, our pitching was bad, and our defense was bad. So we sort of regressed a little bit, but we are in first place. We're well on our way to another 100-win season. Sal Stewart has taken over the third base job quite nicely, so we're just going to let him do his thing. So we'll keep an eye on our draftees, and hopefully, so we signed Curcio, which is good. He was one of the batter pitcher type things. I guess we'll just leave him as a starter, but we will tell them to use him as a two-way player, and maybe that'll change something. Schedule. Pitching war is Yeah. Well, the pitching war in Colorado has always been good. I'm not sure what that means. Like, even when we had like the 15th best pitching staff in the National League, our starters in our bullpen, we were always in the top handful in pitching war. I'm not sure why that is. I'm sure it has something to do with the fact that we're pitching in cores, but it's always been up there, so I don't really know. All right, game 2 at Arizona. A 5-1 win. And those pauses mean that I need to save, because I don't want this thing to crash. This thing keeps saving. And all right, so we win 5-1. Pennell, 3 hits, his 28th home run. Romo homers. Sanchez pitches 5. Norman gets the win. Bullpen pitched well again. 4 innings of shutout baseball. Game 3. 4-0 loss. Yeah, and I don't want to hammer through this month, but I do want to sim through this month and see if we can get into the playoffs and maybe play a playoff game. So we win 6-1 here. Lito with his 24th home run. Jones has 2 hits. LeCaire is only hitting a .192, but he's got 3 home runs and 8 RBIs, so he's been better than Holcomb was all year. Guess pitches really well. So Guess has turned it around, which is nice. I mean, it's going to cost us money next year, but he's pitched really well this year over the second half of the season. Game 2 against Washington, 5-4 loss, so we're 2-3 this month. And there's Roberson, so we get him back. All right, so middle relief. Actually, no, setup for Schmidt. No, we're going to go middle relief, use more often for Schmidt. Roberson's going to be middle relief. De La Cruz is going to go back to long relief. Tunnel's going to go back to none specified, along with Horn and Applegate. All right, cool. So a 10-4 win. Lito 2 hits, 2 RBIs. Wesniak, 47th home run of the year. Romo had a couple hits. Kiner Falefa had a couple hits. Denney picks up his 11th win. All right, let's keep plugging away. Playoffs. Yes, playoffs. 3-1 win over Cincinnati. Playoffs. I am talking about playoffs. Lito with another home run. Yeah, 25 home runs. Pennell's got 29. Sanchez 5 1/3 shutout. So he's not pitching long into games, but he's pitching well. Another game at Cincinnati. 5-3 loss. Third game of the series is a 7-6 win in 10 innings. Wozniak 3 for 5 with 5 runs knocked in. Game was all about Sam Wozniak. 2 home runs, up to 49 on the year. Guest pitches well. Haas and Camarada kind of stink up the joint, but Carraway comes in and locks it down. Roberson comes in, does a nice job. 2.4 ERA since we picked him up. 3 games at the Dodgers. The Dodgers are bad this year, aren't they? 71 and 73. Yeah, they are not very good this year. Terrible offense, pretty good pitching staff, and a huge payroll. $294 million payroll, and they still have $43 million to spend this year. Go figure. All right, 3 at the Dodgers. 2-1 win. Good start to the series. 2 RBIs for Carter Young. Brubaker pitches well. Haas gets the win. Camarada gets the save. Game 2 against the Dodgers. Another win, 7-6. We are releasing our aggressions on the Los Angeles Dodgers this season. So we got it to a 7-0 lead and held on to win 7-6. Miles gave up a few runs, but Denney pitched well. Jones his 28th home run of the year. Pennell's got 30 home runs in 97 starts. I love that .560 slugging percentage, man. I'm getting a kick out of that. Stewart's playing well. Cool. All right, final game against the Dodgers. Can we sweep them? In Los Angeles. That would be something. We do. We win handily. 7-2. Wozniak has 50 home runs again. That's 2 of the last 3 seasons with 50 home runs for Sam Wozniak. 230 home runs in his 5 big league years. Stewart with 3 hits. Sanchez goes 5 1/3 again. That's more than enough. Bullpen shuts it down. 95 and 52. Let's keep going. Oh, here we go. All right, so decision time. So we got to call him up. And let's see where he's at. So he's on pace for 107 games now. So his ratings haven't dropped. Do I just bench him at this point? We've played better since he got hurt. So do we just bench him? Or do we just leave it as it is and not, because he's not listed as a pinch hitter, so he'll pinch hit occasionally, but he won't start. Let's give it a couple of games. Let's see if they play him here. How many games has he played in so far? 90-something? 96? 97 games. So he has to play in 23 games in order to reach the vesting option. Do we even have 23 games left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We don't have 23 games left. Yeah. So we're good. We're good. See? So, again, we didn't try to cheat the system, and we were rewarded karmically for that. So he could pinch hit in every single game, and he won't reach 120 games. So that's going to free $40 million off of our payroll next year, which is awesome. We lose to Miami. We win 9-8. Wozniak 1 for 1 with 4 walks. Drew Jones hits his 29th home run of the year. No, I guess he doesn't. He just had a 2-run triple. Sal Stewart with 46 doubles on the year. Guess gets hit kind of hard. Norman picks up the win. And the final game of the series. Red Sox. The Red Sox have been pretty bad since the trade deadline, Breeze. They have been pretty bad. Today, I don't know if you watched today's game, but it was absolutely brutal. They scored 8 runs against the Blue Jays' best pitcher, and they still lost. Matt Barnes gave up a 3-run home run to what's his name, Springer, in the bottom of the 8th inning. Jones, Stewart, and Young and Lito all have 2 runs knocked in this one. Brubaker only goes 4 1/3. Mackenzie Gore pitches 2 2/3. Perfect baseball for the win. But yeah, they've been really bad over the. Yeah, we did it. Random task. We figured it out. And again, I believe in karma, man. And I feel like because we didn't try to cheat the system, we ended up succeeding. But what was gonna happen is that if we had benched Jose Ramirez, if we had just benched him, then Sal Stewart gets hurt for the year or something crazy like that, and we end up having to play him. But yeah, no, Breeze, you're absolutely right. The Red Sox have been quite bad over the last 2 weeks or so, and it's not just losing games; like they're doing stupid things, like the outs on the base pad. It's been really bad baseball to watch. Denney pitches well. Two wins away from 100. 1-0 shutout win. Sixto Sanchez, 7 shutout innings, 14-3 with a 2.59 ERA for us this year. I would say this was a good trade for sure. Wozniak finally gets into double digits in doubles. He's got 50 home runs and 10 doubles on the year. Final game against Oklahoma City. So 5-2 wins. So that's 5 wins in a row and 100 wins on the season again. Our 4th consecutive year with 100 wins. We're on pace to have our best season yet. Grant Newton got the win. He pitched well, 6 2/3, 2 runs. Stewart hits his 19th home run of the year. Yeah, we're going to keep going. We're going to sim through 9 more games, and then we'll do some playoffs. So we lose playoffs. We lose to the Mets. We win 10-0. Drew Jones with home run number 31 on the year. Carter Young goes 4 for 4. Perez has a couple hits. Pennell 3 hits. Brubaker goes to 14-7 with 7 shutout innings. Final game against the Mets. 14-5 wins. So the offense comes to play in this series. Sal Stewart reaches 20 home runs, drives in 4. Young has 3 hits. We scored 14 runs with a 224 hitter batting first and a 173 hitter batting second. Denney gets the win. He's got 14 now on the year. 3 games. We finish up 3 at St. Louis, followed by 3 at home against Atlanta. 3-2 win, and now Willy Castro is out for another 3 weeks. So it looks like he's going to miss most of the postseason again. Cotter with 3 more hits out of the leadoff spot. Pennell hits his 31st. Sanchez goes 7 1/3. Camerata blows it. But then Haas, Norman, and Schmidt come in and pitch 5 shutout. Game 2 at St. Louis. 3-0 loss. Final game of the year against the Cardinals. So we get shut out in back-to-back games here to finish off against St. Louis. Now we got 3 games against Atlanta. We'll take a look at the stats, and we will get to the postseason. So we lose come on. Yeah, I mean, Clark Schmidt was only our best reliever this year. 62 strikeouts, 8 walks, and 47 innings. So naturally, the game is going to hurt him 2 days before the end of the season. Naturally. Out of the park. Game 2. Let's see how many more injuries we can suffer in the last 2 games of the year. An 8-7 win. Romo 3 hits. Wozniak 2 hits, 3 runs scored. Stewart with 3 hits. Denney gives up 10 hits in 5 innings. All right, final game of the year. Who's going to start in this game? Well, it's not going to be Sixto Sanchez because I don't want him getting hurt. So let's start Mackenzie Gore in this one. Strict order. Mackenzie Gore is going to start in this game. Well, Mackenzie Gore is tired, so Mackenzie Gore is not going to start in this game. So who's going to start in this game? Carson Applegate is going to start the final game of the season for us. Because I don't want any of my pitchers, any of my starters getting hurt. Final game of the year. It's a 13-3 win with Carson Applegate getting the start. At least he better have started. He did. He goes 4. Robertson, Miles, Norman, and Horn. Wozniak hits his 53rd. Pennell is 32nd. Stewart is 22nd. Romo is 14th. So Romo had a pretty solid final month of the year. Got that average up to 246. So we finished the year 105-57, which is, I think, our second best record ever. That's our best record. We finished 104-58 back in 2026. So back-to-back division titles, our best record ever, our best team ERA ever. So we look pretty good going into the postseason. How many of our we signed our first-round pick, Callahan. We signed Ostrovsky. We signed Bowles. Okay, so we ended up signing all of our draft picks, thankfully. How did they do to start the year? Oh, they didn't play at all because I think the season was over by that point. Anyway, so we have to set our playoff roster. We'll look at stats, and then we'll see who we're playing. So Castro's out, so he's going to continue to be out. Wynn is out. He's going to continue to be out. Schmidt is out. Who do we have? Horn can get lost. We got to get Miles out there for who, though? Eichacker. Tunnel on the bench for Newton. All right. So we are going with a 4-man rotation. And we're going to go strict order. And it's going to be Sanchez first, followed by Brubaker, followed by Denney, followed by Guess. What happened? No, I switched it to a 1-man rotation. That was me. That was my fault. All right, so there's our 4-man rotation. Middle relief, none specified. And then our lineup is fine the way it is. We'll just put Cotter out there. And Cotter. All right, so offensively, Sam Wozniak, another 50 home run season, ends up with 7 WAR. All that muss and fuss at the beginning of the year was for naught. He ended up having a great season. Drew Jones, 32 home runs in his best season by far as a pro. Set career highs in pretty much everything across the board. He was fantastic while playing great in the outfield. Sal Stewart, 22 home runs, 48 doubles, while getting the majority of the time at third base. Luke Lito had another really, really nice year, 26 home runs, walked over 100 times again. So he's been fantastic. The average was a little light, but that's fine. Jose Ramirez, that vesting option will not vest, as he ends up playing 105 games for us this season. I hit pretty well, to be fair, 900 OPS. So we are absolutely going to have to make him our number 1 pinch hitter. Pennell had a really nice rookie year, 32 home runs, 92 knocked in. I will take it, 553 slugging, 878 OPS. Romo bounced back again. I think he had a really, really good, 372 in September. And that makes up for his 150 August. But, that bat is starting to slip a little bit, but overall it's fine. 2.5 WAR out of your starting catcher. I'm not gonna complain. B and Cotter. B got off to a really, really hot start, slowed down significantly towards the end of the season, but still put up a 942 OPS. And then everybody else was just varying levels of okay. Carter Young forced to play more than I would have liked due to injury. LeCaire we picked up at the trade deadline and is 41 OPS plus, but still put up positive WAR because of his defense. And pitching, it ended up being a really good year. Our top 4 starters ended up all with sub-4 ERAs. Sixto Sanchez, 14-3 with a 2.53 ERA. He was terrific. We picked him up in the offseason, and he was great. Brubaker had his 3rd straight really good season with us. Denney bounced back as well. from a disappointing year. He won 18 games last year, so I wouldn't call it disappointing, but he was better this year. I mean, he was better at everything. His Ks were up, his walks were down, BABIP was down, ERA plus was up, pitched more innings. He was really good this year. Ben Guest got off to a rough start, still finished up with about 3 WAR. Walked almost twice as many batters this year, which is a little unusual considering he's got a 92 control. Yeah, B was still very good. I mean, a 942 OPS or whatever it was, I'll take it. So our top 4 starters were great. Our top 3 bullpen guys were all pretty good. Haas, Camerata, and Carraway. Camerata moved into that closer role once Mason Wynn got hurt. Mackenzie Gore, again, we just picked up when we traded Jack Leiter. Gore will come off the books this year. Roberson was very, very good after coming over from the Yankees in 23 innings, 31 strikeouts, only 6 earned runs. So again, good call, random task, putting him in the bullpen. You'd start B over Parnell, really? Really? It's interesting. Well, we'll take a look at that. Kevin Norman is our one prospect, and he finally got some big league action and was pretty good. 3.71, 4-1 mark. Grant Newton we picked up in July, and he was fine as our number 5 starter. I mean, he was far better than Carter Smith was this year. Even though he had a 4.62 ERA, he was far better than Carter Smith was. So I'll take it. And he's making the minimum next year as our 5th starter. Right now. Right now what? Right now, you'd start B over Parnell in the playoffs. What would change between now and the playoffs? So there's our stats. Let's look at the playoffs and see who we're going to be taking on. Actually, let's look at standings first. So in the American League, the Orioles win the East 95-67. Tampa Bay gets the wild card. In the Central, the Tigers 97 wins, best record in the American League. The White Sox will make the wild card. And out west, the Angels 96-66 win the AL West. In the National League, the Phillies go 92-70. They win their final 10 games in a row to overtake the Mets and win the division. The Mets get the wild card. Cardinals take the wild card in the Central. And for the first time in 6 years, and I think the first time in 6 years, we don't have 3 teams from the National League West in the postseason. This time it's just the Rockies and Padres as the Dodgers fall to 74-88. So I can't say I'm disappointed there. Now we just need the Padres to fall off and everybody will be happy. Wozniak once again leads the league in home runs and RBIs and OPS. Second in WAR. Brubaker finishes 3rd in wins. So that means we're going to be taking on either San Diego or the Mets in the postseason. Random task. So let's see what happens here. Right now, you'd start B over Parnell. Maybe after 3 playoff games, you'd feel differently. All right, well, we're taking on the Padres. Damn it. Come on. I was hoping for something different for a change. But nope. The San Diego Padres will be coming to Colorado for the National League Division Series. I'll start B in the playoff games, and we'll see how it goes. I have to click the button to make it move forward, don't I? Castro back in a week, which is good. Means we can put him back on the roster if we make it through this series against the Padres. So let's quickly take a look at the 98-64 San Diego Padres. Mitch Keller was out for most of the year. Look at all these injuries. Tamaoka's out. Tatis is out. C.J. Abrams, Zach McKinstry. They have as many injuries as we do. So it looks like we're going to be facing Jagger Haynes, Jose Alberto Rivera, and Ryan Weathers. Very good bullpen. Good offense. Not as good as us, especially without Tatis out there. They don't really have anybody who scares me out there, but I say that, and they could still put up 10 runs on us. All right. What is going on with my mouse? Mookie Betts hits his 400th home run. Eloy Jimenez wins the NL Batter of the Month. AL Pitcher of the Month is Gerardo Lupino of the White Sox. Jonathan Barragan of Arizona wins the Pitcher of the Month. Rookie of the Month in the AL, Luke Oblin. And Chris Brown is the Rookie of the Month in the National League. So, all right, you want me to start Chris B? I will start Chris B. Chris B will get the start in left field, and we will even bat him third because he is the best contact hitter out there. He's starting a lefty, a righty, and a lefty. So, and we're going to start them both against lefties. Oh, no, I guess Pennell is not out there against lefties. All right. Well, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to start Chris B and see how it goes. So let's get to play. My mouse is acting weird. It's not responding. All right. So game one, Jagger, Haynes, Jim Denney. And again, we're going to sim up to that elimination game. So game one goes to the Rockies. It shouldn't have been Denney. I had it set on, I mean, we won, so it doesn't matter. But I had it set on, okay, I'm an idiot, but it could end up paying off in the long run. So we went 11-6. So B had 2 hits, scored 3 times. Lito and Stewart each 3 hits, 2 RBIs. Denney goes 5. Newton and Robertson pitched the final 4. There's game 1 in the books. Game 2 will be Jose Alberto Rivera against Sixto Sanchez. Series is tied at 1 as Sanchez gets hammered. Looks like Mitch Keller got the start. Sanchez doesn't make it through 5. Wesniak and B both homer. Yeah, I had Strict on. It was my fault. My fault. Game 3 in San Diego. So we are going to be playing Game 4. It's just whether or not it's for us eliminating them or them eliminating us. So Tanner Brubaker, Jose Alberto Rivera, and we take a 2-1 series lead. So we will be playing to eliminate the San Diego Padres. We win 4-2. They scored 2 in the first. We scored 1 in the 7th, 3 in the 8th. Cotter with a pinch hit. Single knocking in 2. Connor Falefa got hurt. And LeCaire came in and went 3 for 4 with a triple. Bullpen was good. Brubaker was fine. 2 runs in 5 2/3. So we're going to be playing game 4. Looks like it's going to be Jim Denney against Ryan Weathers. And here we go. Great. I don't care if those players are getting injured. So let's play this game. Weathers is a lefty, right? Yeah. So they're going Rock Riggio in left, batting leadoff, Manny Machado. 37-year-old Manny Machado now, batting second, playing third. Robert Hassel the third, batting third, playing right. Greg Christopher, the cleanup hitter, playing first. Victor Acosta, the shortstop, batting fifth. Luis Camposano doing the catching in the sixth spot. Billy Cotton playing center field, batting seventh. Maxwell Muncy getting his season debut here in Game 4 for the Padres after spending all season in AAA and, getting a season debut. And on the mound for them, Ryan Weathers, 11-7, 3.96. For us, it's a very familiar lineup. Luke Lito batting leadoff, playing right. Sal Stewart batting second, playing third. Wesniak batting third, playing first. Drew Jones in center field batting cleanup. Drew Romo doing the catching in the 5 spot. Abdoulaye Laquer will bat sixth and play short. Chris B will bat seventh and play left. Carter Young batting eighth, playing second base. And Jim Denney. Well, is it going to be Jim Denney? He's tired. It's going to be Ben Guess. We are going to start Ben Guess in Game 4 because Jim Denney is tired. So Ben Guess, 12-4 with a 3.54 ERA, will get the start in Game 4. Let's play some baseball. So Weathers will face Lito leading off the game here at Petco. Hit to right, and that's going to get down for extra bases. First pitch of the game, leadoff double for Luke Lito. That's the start we wanted. Sal Stewart now. 1-2 pitch to him, and my nose is getting itchy, so that's how I know it's almost time to be done. Ground ball. Lito moves over to third. Sam Wesniak looking to get that runner in here in the first. Hits that out to center. Going to be deep enough? I think so. Slide. All right, so we take a 1-0 lead in the first. Sacrifice fly. Productive out, Sam Wesniak. Drew Jones now. Pop out to left. So we get a run in the top of the first, and we're up 1-0. Rock Regio will bat leadoff for them. Ben Guess. 1-2 pitch from Guess to Regio. Strike 3. Manny Machado. Grounded to third. Stewart, no play. Infield hit for Machado. Brings up Hassel. 0-1 pitch to him. Fly ball to center. It's going to get down for a hit. So 2 on, 1 out here in the first. Greg Christopher. Let's get a ground ball, Ben. Come on. Fly ball out to center field. Jones going to make the catch out there. Runner will tag up and go to third. So runners on the corners, 2 outs for Victor Acosta. 2-2 pitch to Acosta. Strike 3. So Guess gets out of a jam, and we're up 1 after 1. Drew Romo will lead off the second. Ground ball to short. It's 1 down. LeCaire now. Base hit to right. There we go. Abdoulaye LeCaire with a base hit to right field. Chris B steps in. A full count pitch to him. Diving play by the second baseman there. Very nice play by Maxwell Muncy. Carter Young. Let's get a hit and flip the lineup. Oh, it's going to be a pop out to second. So through an inning and a half, 1-0. Campusano, we will shift left. 1-2 pitch to him. Ground ball up the middle. Second baseman has it. 1 away. Cotton now is a lefty, so we will shift right. 0-1 pitch to him, and it's become dusk here in San Diego. Pop up on the infield. Stewart makes the catch. Maxwell Muncy making his big league debut here in Game 4, and he lines a double to left field. Of course he does. That will bring up Ryan Weathers. If he gets a hit, no, okay, ground ball to second, and we get out of the inning, so still 1-0. Guess we'll lead off. Guess grounds out to second. Back to the top of the order in Luke Lito. Strikes out. And Sal Stewart now hits that one out to right. Is that gone? Is that gone? Sal Stewart goes oppo taco over the right field wall, and we are up 2-0. Sam Wesniak now. Base hit to center. Drew Jones down the first base line into the corner. Jones is going over to third. He makes it into third. Wesniak scores, so a 2-out triple from Drew Jones gives us a 3-0 lead. Can Romo get him home? Nope, he strikes out. All right, so we're up 3 after 2.5. Regio up now. We will shift right. He struck out last time. And he's hit by a pitch here. That's not what I wanted. Hold runner. Hit to left. Catch is going to be made out there. 1 away. I'll hold the runner again. Hassel hits that one out to center. And a diving catch by Drew Jones. Nothing gets down in front of Drew Jones. Greg Christopher now. And now they're going to steal because I stopped holding the runner. But that's fine. So 2-2 count on Greg Christopher in the bottom of the third. Strike 3. So Ben Guess makes it through 3 innings unscathed. We go LeCaire, B, and Young here in the fourth. Popped out to right. 1 away. Chris B. Grounded to first. 2 away. And Young. Can Young get on and flip the order? He cannot. So Ben Guess is going to lead off again, which I don't like, but it happens. Victor Acosta now for them. Smashes that one. That's going to be a leadoff double for the Padres here in the bottom of the fourth. Campusano is a pull hitter. Can we get a ground ball to either the left, to the third baseman or the shortstop? Ground ball, that's perfect. Runner stays at second. Cotton now is a pull hitter as well, so we shift right. 2-0 pitch. Popped up on the infield. 2 away. And Maxwell Muncy. Muncy grounds out to third. So the leadoff double. No problem. We're through 4, and we're still up 3-0. Guess will lead off. He's actually a good hitting pitcher. And there you go. Base hit to left for Ben Guess. Luke Lito, runner on first. Ground ball on the infield. And it's going to be an infield hit. Oh, they just got him. All right, so runner on second now with 1 out. Sal Stewart. Grounded to third. 2 away. And Wesniak hits that one out to left. Catch is made out there. So we go to bottom of the 5th. We're still up 3-0. Gavin Kylan steps in now. Hits that one out to center. Jones is going to make the catch. 1 out. Riggio now. We'll shift right. 2-2 pitch to him. Hits that one to second. 2 away. And Machado. Popped out to right. So Ben Guess has gone 5 shutout innings here so far in Game 4. Drew Jones against Camilo Doval. Look at those ratings for Doval. That's pretty damn good. 81 and 100 against righties. Hopefully he'll get wild. Drew Jones flies out to left. Drew Romo now. Pops out to center. And is this LeCaire? Yep. Grounded on the infield. And we go down 1, 2, 3 in the 6th. They bring up 3, 4, 5 against Ben Guess. 1-1 pitch from Guess to Hassel. To third. Stewart 1 away. Christopher. 2-2 pitch to him. Popped out to left field. Or is that going to be a... Yeah, it's going to be caught. So 2 away in the bottom of the 6th. Victor Acosta. He was the last one to reach. And he does it again. Another double. Led off the 4th with a double, I think. Gets a 2-out double here in the 6th. So I'll bring up Camposano. Shift left. Let's get out of this inning, Ben. Hit out to left field. Catch is made out there. So Guess goes 6 shutout. How many pitches has he thrown? 85. Camerata's slightly tired. Caraway and Haas. How is he against lefties? Yeah, he's really bad against lefties. 56, 72, and 32. Yeah, he's really bad against lefties. So let's see if B can get something done here against Doval, who's bad against lefties. Base hit to center. There you go. I'm going to leave guessing. I'm not taking him out yet. I just want to have bullpen arms up just in case. We got Carter Young, who's another lefty. Will swing away again. That catch is going to be made out there. And Ben Guess... I guess we'll bunt. Doesn't really matter. I mean, it matters, but we'll bunt. See if we can get that bunt down. And he does. Okay. So runner on second. 2 outs for Luke Lito. So this is a good matchup for us. Doval's not very good against lefties, against Lito, who can pound righties. And is that... Nope, that's going to be caught. Didn't get quite enough of it. All right, so they got Cotton. We'll shift right. 0-1 pitch from Guess to Cotton. Popped out to left. 1 away. Maxwell Muncy. 2-2 pitch to him. Hit out to center. 2 away. And Brian Packard is a pull hitter. That sounds like a pull hitter. Sounds like a power hitting first baseman type. 1-1 pitch from Guess to Packard. Grounded to first. So 7 shutout innings now for Guess. But now I have to... He's at 95 now. So if I leave both of these guys in the bullpen through this inning, they're both going to be tired come the start of next inning. So I think what I do is we'll sit down Haas. We will get Roberson up. And who do they have batting next inning? Reggio, Machado, and Hassel. So I think we can go to the lefty next inning. We go to Carraway next inning for Reggio and Hassel. And we'll see what happens at that point. So Stewart will lead out. Look who's pitching for the Padres, guys. Jack Leiter had an okay season for San Diego, 12-7, 4.27 ERA. He comes in here in the 8th inning against his former team. Met by Sal Stewart, who hits a fly ball out to center for the first out. Sam Wesniak gets hit by the pitch. Drew Jones. It's going to be a fly out, diving catch out in left field by Reggio and Romo. And we go 1, 2, 3. All right, so now we're going to go. Yeah, Carraway's tiring, but it's time, I think. So Carraway, he's got a lefty, a righty, and then a lefty. So we will shift right. Oh, come on. No, don't do this. Okay. All right. Yeah. Strike him out, please. Thank you. Here we go. We'll bring in Josh Roberson. We're going to get Camarada. No, we're not going to get Camarada up because he's already tired. Yeah, oh no is right. Oh no is right. So here comes Sal Frelick. And I'll give up the 1 run if we can get a ground ball out here. Just don't give up a hit. And he gives up a hit. Gives up a double. This bullpen, man. Victor Acosta. Ground ball to second. So runner on third, 2 outs. We have a 1-run lead, and Luis Campusano, their catcher, is up. All right. Okay. So we get Carraway up. We got to score a run here. We got to... He was at 95 pitches. I mean, hindsight, yeah, I guess. But, you know, you don't suspect that one of the best fielding catchers in Major League Baseball is going to throw the ball into center field. LeCaire against Kyle Dowie. Ball 4. And I think here... we're going to put Pennell in left because he's a better fielder than B is. Of course. Carter Young. I'm so left-handed heavy. I don't know what to... I don't know... And it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I mean, he was going to strike everybody out because that's what Dowie does. All right, so we're up 3-2. We got our closer in there. We got a 1-run lead in the 9th inning. I guess I could have pulled a double switch. I didn't even think about that. And I should have just pinch hit Pennell for the pitcher last inning. All right, so we got Camarada against Cotton. I'm going to shift right. At least it's 7, 8, 9. He bunts. Throw him out. O2 pitch to Muncy. Yep. Another infield hit. Oh, no, they threw him out. All right. Okay, so Haas will get up. So we got to win it in extras now. We got to win it in extras at this point. We had a 3-0 lead. Bullpen couldn't get it done. So Dowie is still out there for them, though. And he's just a monster. Oh, here we go. Chris Good. 2 outs. And Wozniak. We go down in order in the 10th. Camerata's going to come out. Chris Haas is going to come in. Hassel will lead off. We will shift right. Strike 3. That's a good start. Colton Wombles. Of course. Colton Wombles. That's a name. It's a fly ball out to right. Catch is made out there. 2 outs, bottom of the 10th. Victor Acosta. A couple of doubles in this one. And he strikes out. So a good inning for Haas. We needed that. So they're going with Mike Alberson now against Drew Jones leading off the 11th. Fly out to center. Drew Romo. It's hit by the pitch. LeCaire. Can he be the hero? Nope, he strikes out. And Jim Pennell. Can he be the hero? No, he strikes out. All right, so Camposano now. 2-2 pitch. Ground ball to second. 1 away. Cotton. Batter out. I want Colton Wong. We have Colton. We have Colton Wong at home. Colton Wong and Colton Wombles. Yeah, Colton Wombles. Maxwell Muncy. 1-2 pitch to him. So Haas comes in and does a nice job. 2 shutout innings. Norman, we'll get Norman up because he threw 8 pitches like 3 days ago. All right, so Carter Young. Strike 3. What do I do? I can't. Do I pin? I'm afraid Romo is going to get hurt, but at this point, what the hell? Ricardo Perez will come in and pinch hit. Now I have nobody on the bench. He walks, so that's good. Luke Lito, 1-2 pitch. Lefty on lefty. Strike 3. And Stewart now. All right, so we go to the bottom of the 12th. And we bring in Kevin Norman to face lefty, righty, lefty, lefty. So that could work to our advantage. 3-2 pitch. Don't walk him. Please don't walk him. Don't walk the leadoff hitter. Damn it. Strike 3. Machado. Can we get a ground ball, please? Add an infielder. I haven't had a double play all game. Catch. Nope. Catch is not made. It's blooped into center field. Pop up on the infield. And pitcher is batting because they're out of position players as well. He's going to get a hit. Okay, good. He flew out to center. All right, so we go to the 13th inning. Wozniak, Jones, and Romo. Wozniak will lead off, and he walks. Drew Jones strikes out. Drew Romo strikes out. And LeCaire pops out. So they got Victor Acosta leading off. 1-1 pitch to him. And it's a base hit. Damn it. And he's super fast, too, which means he's probably going to steal. So I got to hold him on. That one's popped up on the infield. Got to hold him on again. It's a base hit to center. Crap. All right, so we got to bring the infield in here. And we got to bring the outfield in. And we're going to lose right here. Oh, no. Okay. So Cronenworth, runners on second and third, 2 outs. Grounded to third. We got out of the inning. I cannot believe we got out of that inning. So we go to the 14th inning. And now we're going to get Grant Newton up. Pennell will bat leadoff. Struck out last time. It's a fly ball out to center. Is that going to have enough? No, it's going to stay in the park. 1 out. Carter Young strikes out. Do I have any pitchers that can hit? I don't believe so. What do I want to look at? I want to look at... I don't think I can... Can I look at... I don't think I can. All right. Well, fine. We will just let Kevin Norman hit here. See how he does with 2 outs. Grounds out. Okay. 14th inning. How is he tired? We got lefties up. I feel like I got to leave him out there for now. 0-2 pitch. Strike 3. Machado. 1-2 pitch. To double down the left field line. All right. I got Robert Hassel up. I intentionally walk him, obviously, because they have the pitcher up next. And now we go to Newton. Strike 3. And Acosta. Grounded to short. And we're going to the 15th. 15 innings. This is a game for the ages. Luke Lito leading off against Tim Hill, who's a former Rocky. I don't think we've had a hit since like the 7th inning or something. Sal Stewart. There we go. There's our first hit since like the 7th inning. A 1-out double. Wesniak will step up now with a runner in scoring position and one. They're going to walk him. Makes sense. Drew Jones. Thomas Zapuki comes in. Jones to fly out to right. Now we got Drew Romo trying to get it done. 2-2 pitch to him. He strikes out. It's Camposano now. Shift left. Base hit to left. Billy Cotton. We will shift right against him. I'd love a strikeout. That's even better. The 6-3 double play is even better. Maxwell Muncy. Grounded to short. And we're going to the 16th inning. I gotta get somebody up. Who do I want to get up? How's Gore? Spencer Miles, I guess. LeCaire. 3-2 pitch to him. Ball force. We get the leadoff man on. Lefty on lefty. Pennell here. Popped up on the infield. And we're going to try something. Nope. Fly ball out to center. All right. Well, I had to give it a try because I got the pitcher batting now. Cronenworth. 1-2 pitch. Strike 3. Rock Reggio. We will shift right. 2-2 pitch. Strike 3. And Machado. 1-1 pitch to him. Popped up. This has been a crazy game. Absolutely insane. We're going to the 17th inning. And we're going to leave Newton out there. He's only thrown 26 pitches. So top of the order for us, Luke Lito against Zapuki. Lito, Stewart, and Wesniak. Strikeout for Lito. Hit out to left. It's going to stay in the ballpark, though. 2 away. And Wesniak. No, the game will never end, Jack. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for checking in. 2-out single for Wesniak. And Drew Jones now. Strike 3. This is just crazy, crazy stuff here. So we had Spencer Miles. We'll get him back up just in case. Robert Hassel. I have a feeling that I'm going to lose this one at some point. Grounded to short. 1 out. Zapuki now. Strike 3. And Victor Acosta. He strikes out. So Newton has been fantastic. That's going to be it for him, though. He's thrown 42 pitches. So we're going to set Miles down. We'll bring him up at the beginning of next day. We'll get Mackenzie Gore up as well. Top of the 18th inning. Drew Romo leading off against Zapuki. Strike 3. LeCaire. Strike 3. And Pennell. We go down in order in the 18th inning. All right, so we have to... Was Miles ready? Yeah, Miles is ready. So we'll go to Spencer Miles against Luis Camposano. We will shift left against him. Over the head of the left fielder. So over the head of the shortstop. A leadoff single. Shift right against Billy Cotton. He's going to walk him. It's the ball game. Shoot. That's the ball game. That sucks. That sucks. Because now all of my bullpen arms are going to be tired for tomorrow's game, for tomorrow's game 5, which I'm not playing tonight. You guys are going to have to wait for game 5. So it's just the way it is. So, yeah. So we lost game 4 in 18 innings by the final score of 4-3. That's not karma. Why is that karma? That's not karma. And it wasn't a bad pitching decision. It was at 95 pitches. I had 3 lefties coming up in just sim game 5. You want me to just sim game 5? All right, I'll sim game 5. Look, he's got Ben Guest starting game 5. All right. Willy Castro suffered a setback. All right, I will sim game 5. Mitch, it's not Ben Guest. It's not. Ben Guest pitched last game. Who should be starting? Denney is going to be starting. Denney. If I lose this game, though, it's your fault, Random Task. I'm just putting that out there. So let's see. 3, 2, 1. And we win. 5-1. All right. So we win the National League Division Series. We beat the Padres 5-1 in Game 5. Drew Jones, 2 hits, 3 RBIs. Young had 3 hits. Lito, 2 hits out of the leadoff spot. Denney goes 7. Caraway and Camerata come in and shut it down. You can thank. All right, thank you. Because I would have made some sort of stupid decision as the manager that would have cost me the game, right? So who are we playing in the next round? We'll see, and then we will call it a stream. St. Louis. So let's quickly look at the Cardinals. 92-70 on the year. Middle of the pack batting. Best pitching staff in the National League, though. They're also suffering some injuries. Both of their center fielders are out. But other than that, they're pretty healthy. Their offense is not very good. Their pitching staff is very good. So it should be a fun series. But that is for next time. That's going to do it for this stream, guys. Again, I appreciate it. Next video will be out on Wednesday. I usually play the game, or I do the recording on Tuesday, and then I play it, and then I send it to Chris over at GM Games on Wednesday, and he uploads it there. So I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you hanging out, and I will talk to everybody next Sunday, 7 p.m. Thanks. Have a good night. Bye.